people that are watching right now. Can you see some POC champs? Okay,
Do we,
I
do
guess
we?
now we have to wait 3 minutes for the POC
Oh, do
champs,
we have
right?
3 minutes delay for this? Oh, that sucks so much, man. Is that
Wait,
necessary? We don't
I
need
don't
to,
know.
right?
I have no idea. No, like if the game is gonna have delay as well, which it will, right? Then
Yeah.
why do we have a delay on the stream? Okay, guys, we're taking a short break, and we're gonna be back in 5 minutes.
Where we are?
I don't know. I'm not gonna remove the delay.
I'm not sure how to do it. I'll
Oh,
ask. I'll ask Akam.
okay. We need some help.
Yeah. We're looking for help with. Is Akam in game? Oh shit, Akam is in game.
We need someone else to help.
Kevin, maybe Kevin could help us.
Okay, let's
Let's contact Kevin. He should be in Discord. At Kevin. At Borrowbeer. The stream delay. Because I'm pretty sure. Oh no, there's no stream delay actually.
But there's no stream delay?
No, there's actually no stream delay. Wait.
Okay, okay. Oh,
Nobody in chat feels bad, man.
wait, no pop chance in the chat. What's going on, man? I feel so alone right now.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Oh, there he is. There he is. He
Ah,
mistyped.
he's teasing us. He's teasing us. Not like this, Rob.
He's done it. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for being here. Too bad goblins are not playing.
Let's see. We have the spectate link for the draft. I think you wanna open it yourself, Emre.
Do I? Oh, because you're
I,
not gonna stream it.
I
I mean,
can, but
if
then we need
you
to switch it.
if you send it to, I mean, the stream has no delay anyway, so I'll just Well, you can also send me the link. It's also fine.
Are you in the lobby yet? Oh, you don't need to be, of course.
No, I'm not online. I don't want my PC to lag. It's a little bit of a potato right now.
I have the draft law for you. Interesting, Joe. They just started the
Okay.
game and
Wait, who started?
decided not to start the game. In fact, the draft also has started.
Okay. I guess we're going straight into it then.
Yeah, I think so.
What is going on? Okay.
We're
Okay.
here. So for this draft, Duivelsei and Aether are interesting teams because both of their top laners are kinda one or two tricks. Duivelsei's top laner being a Yorick and Shen 2 trick, and Aether's top laner being an Aatrox 1 trick.
And you can immediately see the safe Ornn pick. It's gone. No boring ass champions in the top lane allowed here.
I find it an interesting first ban because it kinda just shows that you're gonna ban all three, right? You're not gonna ban Ornn but then leave open Shen, for example.
Yeah, I think like if you're gonna ban Ornn, probably in the first rotation, the third ban would be most optimal. But we're gonna see. Okay.
Unless you just decide that Shen and Yorick are bad champions. Also possible. And you ban Milio instead. Milio, of
Uh,
course, being a really strong champion right now.
yeah,
Good
definitely.
pairings with Ashe, with Kog'Maw, with Jinx as well.
Even with Lucian, she can be extremely effective and strong.
There's the immediate any pickup, something that Link with Sneak has been playing, the support of Duivelsei, and the support of Aether as well. So
Yeah.
makes sense.
So Annie isn't being seen a lot these days, but she's still pretty good support. I think she's still A tier, and yeah, basically does the same thing as she did before. She's just not OP anymore. Like before she got nerfed, she was really OP, and now she's just a solid pick.
Yeah, still very flexible, of course. Something that's highly valuable in draft. It's the Fi pickup, making something like a Jinx slightly less tasty, maybe. Trying to push them away from that pick.
Yeah, so I watched Aether play last Monday, and I think Kevin played 2 or 3 games of Vi. I don't remember. Or they had to play a best of 5, which was crazy. So they immediately go for that. The Vi worked out really well in those games, and just teasing some Jinx here. Like, ooh, do you dare to pick Jinx against my Varus?
Yeah,
Do you
and
think do you think it's gonna work? Do you think they're like, oh shit, we have to play Jinx right now?
I don't think they're going to pick Jinx into Varusfy, you know. That seems like a dangerous gamble to take, especially because they're already at the Annie. No Thresh or Lulu yet to of course protect their Jinx. And instead they pick up Tristana and Jarvan. Jarvan being a very strong jungler on this patch. Probably preferred over Vi right now. Having a very strong early ganks and also of course the solid mid game engages ever since he got his AD buffs on his shield. Let's see
Yeah,
how Aether will react to these.
and also because Varus is an immobile ADC, the Varus gets some extra benefit here, which is really nice. And overall, Duivelsei seems to be really preferring some hard engage here. They just want to jump in, go in, blow someone up, go for
Well,
a reset.
hard engage for one team, hard engage for the other. With the Leona coming through, there's a lot of pick potential right now from Aether side as well.
A
And
lot of lockdown.
that Annie can't feel too safe right now, being an easy
Yeah.
target for all of these champs.
So when Annie was OP, I thought this was a pretty good matchup for Annie. But I think the tides have shifted, and Leona is actually pretty decent against Annie right now. I think Annie is just too squishy now to survive an all-in.
Also interesting to note is that Aether, of course, didn't ban Shen and Yorick, and Daivos has chosen to pick up neither of them, allowing Aether to ban them away in the second rotation. So that seems like the gamble paid off for them. Also notable is that Tristana, of course, is a flex pick for Duivelsei. I would say right now it's played more in the mid lane than in the ADC role, but as a blind
Ooh.
mid pick is not that strong, so having that flexibility between the two lanes should be nice. Also, a decent champion to get away from Leona and Vi with. It's not the easiest to
Yeah,
pin
but it's
down.
gonna be really difficult for the Tristana to jump in that bot lane. So I do expect it that it might go mid, and very smart by Aether that they are willing to keep up that mid pick open, such that they will know. And essentially, the flex pick is not gonna do too much here.
With a blind Dr. Mundo coming through.
Yeah, so I think they played Mundo as well last Monday, and he popped off. Let's just say that. So I think he really likes Mundo. And
In
maybe he already knows that the top laner from Duivelsei has no real good picks left anymore. So he's like, hey, I'm not scared of you. You don't have your main champions. What are you going to do about this?
Interesting decision. I feel like Mundo should have plenty of lane counters even to pick against him.
Oh, I'm saying all of this, and Yorick is open, which is one of the one of the champions this guy mains, right? So yeah, that's not very good, I think.
I surely Aether planned around this and they were like willing to play it into it.
I mean, is that even a good matchup, though?
It doesn't feel like it. Also, that's a blind Aurelian Soul right there. Very ballsy and kind of disrespectful towards Strada in the mid lane.
I feel like they're disrespecting each other here, right? The blind Mundo pick, leaving the guys Yorick OTP open, and now you they're like, okay, then we'll just pick Aurelion Soul blind and good luck.
Very interesting. I'm wondering what he'll pick against it. He could play some Yone or LeBlanc, something he really likes to play as well. I think it's kind of a takeaway pick, this Aurelion Soul. Because they were of course scared if they blind a mage, then Zrada can pick Aurelion Soul himself. Really preferring the champion the last few weeks. But the Yone comes through, making for a pretty low magic damage composition, but of course having a lot of pressure and pick potential should prevent the Aurelion Soul from scaling. And I also got to feel like the Yorick doesn't. He shouldn't have the luxury to split for too long with the amount of hard engage that Aether has drafted.
Uh, well, I mean, I think he's just gonna play his own game. I don't think the champion does a lot of things in the team fight, so I'm gonna assume that he's just gonna play his own game and split. And I don't think that Mundo is gonna be able to kill Yorick.
Alright, so what do you think of the end result of this draft? Who would you say? Which side would you prefer taking the nameplates off. Just
Would I
looking at the.
prefer? Oh. Well, I do like Red Side to have more. I feel like they just have more tools to play the game. Um, and the Vi has like a lot of options to also play the game. Like he can over mid lane look for plays. He can go bot lane look for plays there. And I think blue side draft is a bit more difficult. Because yeah, as Jarvan, you kind of have to go bot lane here, which makes it a bit predictable, I think. I don't think you're gonna have pressure from the mid lane and the top lane. I mean, sure you can do stuff there, but is that really worth it? Can they, if he goes top lane, can they really make Yorick get a big lead and take the game over?
I think they might try for it because I mean they could go for Varus Leona, of course. I think it's very valuable to go to the bot lane early, but I'm sure Fi will be there to counter gank. Fi doesn't have to gank from Mundo. Yona will be completely fine in the mid lane. So the onus is really on the Jarvan to make the plays work. Either make them stick on bot lane or get 2 or 3 kills on the Yorick so he can become that split push man as he needs to be. And I would also agree with you. I think that Aether side just has a more well-rounded team fight and pick composition. And yeah, it's just weird to rate a draft with the Yorick in it. If you
Yeah,
know what I
so
mean.
yeah, exactly. It just makes the game a bit more difficult. And so one of the other things I don't really like is that Tristana is going to push, and yeah, Varus Leona is gonna love to have the wave at their tower, so they can force an all in. That's kind of what I mean. That the Jarvan has to be there, otherwise they're just gonna get all in really easily. But we have to see if Aether is going to be able to abuse that. Can they yeah, use that knowledge to their advantage?
Yeah. I would say that scaling is in favor of Duivelsei. So if Aether gets a lead but doesn't manage to close out the game, maybe loses 1 or 2 dragons early and the game stalls out, then Tristana and Aurelion Sol are just very long range carries, which are difficult to deal with uh, if you start to lose that lead that you build up.
Yeah, and Aurelion Sol is a monster. Like that champion is not balanced after 2 to 3 items.
Yeah,
As soon as he
uh,
gets his Seraphs as Rylai's, then he becomes pretty much unkillable.
definitely.
And
As
he does
much
way too much damage.
as Caps did his best to show that Aurelion Sol is in fact a balanced champion yesterday by inting his ass off against Chovy, I would say that Aurelion Sol still his wave clear is just unmatched. It becomes so difficult to siege against an Aurelion Sol if he can E almost every wave.
Yeah, and Red Side does have a lot of melee, so they don't really have the luxury to siege. So they're gonna really have to look for team fights and skirmishes if they want to push their lead.
Yeah, and they should be well equipped for that. So I would definitely make a prediction that Aether is favored for this game. For the viewers, so the group stage of this league tournament is double round robin. Each team plays against all 3 of their opponents twice, once today and once on Friday. However, Aether has decided with Duivelsei that they will play 2 of their matches today. So this will be a best of 2. But we'll only be featuring one of the 2 games, because after this game we'll be switching over to Group B, in which Zephyr Zeus will be facing off against Erasmus Esports CG, I believe. So we'll not
Yes.
see the end result of this best of 2 matchup in the double round robin.
Yeah,
Uh,
so we don't care about the game two. This is a best of one for the stream. Whoever wins this game wins.
exactly, exactly.
So this is the high stakes game. Second game doesn't matter.
Also, if there are people in chat, if there's any issues with sound or with the frame rate, please let me know. Then I can see to adapt it.
Someone says that we're muted.
Oh wait, someone
No,
says that?
I'm joking. I'm
Oh
joking.
no, no! I was like, did I miss a chat message? That would be very sad. Missing the complete. Both are muted. Ah, no.
Oh shit.
That's such an interesting timed message, Rob.
Yeah, totally not suspicious at all.
I'm looking forward to this game. I've played against Duivelsei quite a bit. In the competition, we've faced them like 3 or 4 times now. First in Division 3, and then we both promoted Division 2, and now we got to top 2 of Division 2 in the Dutch Student League. So I've become well acquainted with the picks and bans of this team.
And have you ever played against this Yorick?
I don't think we have. I think we left
Oh.
open his Shem, but never his Yorick.
Did you see the fact that he has Ghost?
He does have Ghost. I will
Yeah.
switch over to the game.
Does that scare you, or do you think that makes him like an easier target to gank?
Let me just switch over the view for the viewers as well. Not the kill codes. Time controls. Yes, you got it. Alright.
So yeah.
Can you repeat your question, Emre?
I said, what do you think about the fact that Yorick has Ghost? Does that scare you, or do you think that's gonna make him an easier target to get ganked by the Vi?
No, I think Ghost is the correct decision. We've seen from several of those type of top laners, like Darius and Garen as well, that they really excel in the longer lanes, especially after one turret falls, if they have the Ghost pick. It also makes them more flexible in team fights. And really it's quite difficult to punish him in the laning phase by the Vi. I don't think that Mundo has the gank setup to really threaten it. You could have said that Yorick might have wanted Flash Ghost and just ditch the TP altogether. But yeah, that could be difficult for objective contest later. So I think Ghost TP is fairly reasonable.
Alright guys and girls, the game has started. Both junglers starting top side as they both decide to path towards the bot lane. As you know, I kind of predicted, as I said, that the junglers will kind of have to be around the bot side, as it's gonna be very explosive lane, most likely.
Yeah, there's a lot of all-in kill pressure from both sides. I would definitely favor Leona Varus if they have the health advantage. But of course, double range with the Ashe, with the Annie, I mean. We'll try to make sure that Leona will not have the HP to look for those all-ins.
So yeah, Aether is going to get level 2 first in the bot lane, although we're watching the mid lane right now, so okay, but yeah, they just back off. Yeah, nothing is going on. They're not getting level 2'd, as sometimes happens, you know. They're just chilling, waiting for the wave to come. They will also get level 2. And yeah, not that much that's gonna happen in the early game. Both junglers are also just kind of full clearing, so no cheese ganks, which would have been nice, I think, if the Jarvan tried maybe a cheese gank or something.
I agree. I think there's a lot of potential there to start bot side and just three camp into bot lane. We do see that the Jarvan clears quite a bit faster than the Vi, of course. Final being the strongest at camp clearing before she gets her first few abilities. So it will give Jarvan the first opportunity to contest the bot lane and potentially the entrance to the river for Scuttle. But a good ward from Adam to spot out any Jarvan shenanigans that might come in.
Also, I don't think that Jarvan is going to have the prio to contest the Scuttle, and he realizes that and immediately backs and probably will go for the top Scuttle and then maybe even look for the top gank.
Good to see you.
Also, I see the first prediction, Yorick will end the game in 15 minutes, so let's see if that's gonna happen.
It's good to see that we have some junior fans in the chat. I can imagine he made quite a name for himself, both in Duivelsei and towards other associations playing against it.
I also think it's funny that the jungler is called Melio. I wonder if he plays Melio jungle. That would be pretty cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really bad. Okay, so Vi is hovering the bot lane. Is going to look for a gank here.
Ooh, and they do hit
engages
the
on the Annie, flashes away. Are they gonna flash after him? gets stunned, and I think she's dead. Very nicely played by Aether. Yeah, not even flashing forward, so they're played it very calm and slow, and they just hit all of their abilities and killed Daddy.
Yeah, and honestly, they didn't really even need the Fi. It was just there to give them the confidence to look for that kill. Fi not getting an assist, just threatening with her Q.
Oh, Jarvan in the mid lane, maybe? Okay, I think a flash burn from Zedrada.
Oh,
is he
Zedrada?
really going to do it? Oh.
Oh, well, that hurts to see on screen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Arvin's Soul is just OP, and for some reason he was winning that fight. A broken champion. What else can you say?
I think he got mind controlled into going back in. Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit too hype, but okay, he's warm now, so I expect Zedrada to, you know, keep going for each place and make them work. Maybe the fact that his team. Oh, okay.
Interesting play from both sides. Standing getting away.
Yeah,
of course.
having to use the exhaust though, so that's somewhere down.
Yep. Not too much of a benefit out of it either. Of course, the Varus did just base, so he'll be missing some of his health when Tristana comes back, and that might be an angle for Jarvan or Annie to engage on the Varus. I don't think that's worth your exhaust.
Yeah, and now that the flash of Annie is down as well, and the exhaust is down, I do think that there's going to be an opportunity for the other bot lane to make a play. As the Leona still has flash as well, so they can pretty much like force an all in at any point during the game.
So I need your opinion. This Yorick skin. It's a very cute panda, right?
Oh, what skin is this?
I
mean,
think
that is
it's-
a cute panda.
I think it's Meowrick, but
Oh,
a
and then with the
panda
chroma.
chroma.
Oh man, yeah, I do think it makes the champion too goofy though. So like he doesn't feel really scary anymore.
Yeah, I get what you
You
mean.
know what I mean? So like you're in the top lane, you're just chilling. Oh, okay. Playing against the Yorick, and then there's just suddenly a panda in front
Yeah,
of you, and then you just get killed, right? Like because you're not paying a lot of attention.
Ah, that's smart, that's smart. Jarvan looking for the gank here, but Fi ready to counter gank. Getting warded out, so probably this will be the end of the action here. With
I
the
do
dragon
think
being
that's
up.
for the PvP. Okay, Ghost being popped now. Yorick is going in with all of his minions.
This will probably be a
just
flash
cutting the middle down.
force out of him. I don't think he has the kill position. If he has flash, he did.
Oh,
Oh,
gets the
he
slow
still
and gets
has-
the kill for sure.
Well, I stand corrected. You don't need flash in Yorick, just run them down.
Yeah, who needs flash? Just run him down, hit your slow, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now the Vi is looking for revenge. I don't think he can do it though. I think that the Yorick ultimate will do too much damage.
The level 5 Fi, yeah, I agree. I don't think Fi. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, what a disaster! Yeah, I mean, okay, like I think they're really underestimating the champion here. Like I know that Yorick ultimate, that guy deals so much damage. Or girl, I'm not really sure what it is. Okay,
It's
also
a
Aether bot
maiden.
lane now make for revenge play.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. If Fi is level 6 there, maybe she can burst the Yorick before he can really return the damage. But now, Porobear just feeds the Yorick another kill, who picks up an Executioner's Calling against the Mundo as well. And that looks like a really rough set of components to play against as Mundo, with only some health stacking for himself.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Min Dai Hub in the chat, predicting the 8-minute Yorick solo bottle for sure, and for sure it was. And now with 2 kills ahead of his opponent, I do think that he's slowly going to take over the game, and I think Jarvan is gonna maybe also just keep going top lane here.
Yeah,
Yeah, meanwhile the Yorick ultimate still doing work. I mean, I also don't think that, you know, the Yorick or the Mundo can ever kill the ultimate.
oh
bro.
my god.
It's like he has a permanent buddy up in the top lane. Just helping him with everything. Yeah, what can you do, man? You just get clapped like that.
Yeah, I'm happy
think
to
it's the
say
problem.
that I think the decision of Manticore to always ban the Yorick seems to be the right one, as Yorick looks to pick up his third and fourth turret plates of the game. Mundo, of course, not having TP right now, so this might even be the complete turret.
I mean, it's also one of those champions you never play against, and you don't really want to play against the Yorick, especially against the Yorick, you know, that's played a lot of Yorick games. Like, why would you even want to play this matchup? So, but that's okay. We still have the Aether bot lane being relatively strong. So, are they going to be able to, yeah, carry his top laner here?
I think it's all crumbling. I wanted to say that 2 kills before this, there was only a 300 or 400 gold difference, so Aether was kind of keeping up. But now with 2 extra turret plates and 2 extra kills going over towards Duivelsei, the game is snowballing too quickly.
Yeah, I think especially after they're gonna lose the pressure from Zedrade in the mid lane, the game is gonna be really difficult, because that's going to make it such that they can only force plays through the bot lane. And that's gonna make it, yeah, pretty predictable what they're gonna be able to do in this game. So, okay, the Leona jumping over, taking the blast cone, and just pieces out like that.
Quick in, quick out, nothing dangerous going on.
But yeah, I do really think that it's important that the Vi, Mr. Polar Bear, somehow is going to help Zedrade to get back in this game, because I feel like if he's gonna fall behind and the Aurelian Sol is going to take the game over, it's gonna look very, very dire to, yeah, to play this game out for the red side.
Aurelian Sol just finishing his Rylai's as well, meaning that he should be very comfortable against the plenty of melee champions that are drafted on either side. I would like to see this Herald crash. Those are 2 more plates going over towards the bot lane of Duivelsei. Yorick on his Divine Sunderer as well. This is looking pretty grim already for Aether.
Okay, so Zedrade just looking for a trade here. I do think that he's gonna have the all-in power to kill him.
Oh, that was really close actually. If that knockup hits, I do think he kills the Aurelian Sol. So, good attempt, forcing out the ult and the flash from the Aurelian Sol.
Yes, and now I think it's really important that the Vi abuses this flash cooldown timer.
Oh. And here we see the big potential that the bot lane and jungler do have.
I think that even if Annie had like 2 Merc threats, he still would have PCC'd for 5 seconds there. Like, wow.
The fire ult did not get used in that exchange.
Yeah, very nice that they are being, you know, proactive here. And they're looking for plays, but I do think that the play is a bit over though, because they only have the Vi ultimate now for the setup, and they don't have any other tools right now.
And we actually have the counter play, of course, no ult for the Aurelian Sol. So this should not be too much of a danger.
This is fine, this allows Zedrade to maybe get 1 plate. Okay, good flash there, Jalvan's ult being used. Yeah, Zedrade gets a little bit of gold back, so that's not a bad thing. He really needs that, needs some XP, some gold, to not fall too far behind.
First turret also got picked up, not too long ago I believe. So
yeah, and I think he's gonna keep going.
Oh, very nice. Even before the Leona and Varus ults are up as well. I think that's great use out of the big, about the ultimates they do have. Essentially 3 ults for 2 kills in the span of a minute. It's really nice.
Yeah, you see Aether fully using this the bot lane tools to their advantage and making sure that that is not going to go unnoticed. And it's good because that is also keeping them in the game. They're almost equal in gold here, and this is really something that they need to do if they ever want to be able to, you know, shut down the Yorick.
Yeah, and with the teams resetting, I think it's a good time to take a look at the gold and see that the Yorick on one side, but also the Varus on the other side, both have 2k gold more than their respective lane opponents. That's big, and it probably means that we can expect a lot of side lane pressure from the Yorick for the rest of the game. But in team fights, you would still favor Aether's side with a very strong ADC.
Speaking of that, the shutdown looks juicy, so they're gonna try to see if they can get the shutdown. Very nice change to see here, and
they get it on the Varus. Very well done. That was quite close for the Yorick to still get a return kill.
Yeah, this is exactly what Aether needed to do to get back in the game, and I think from here they can, yeah, look to snowball the lead again. I do think that it would be nice if the Shutten had gone to Zedrada, such that he can be having a little bit more presence in the side lane. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very fed virus. It's going to also be difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and I have to say that it's very well played to the 5 Varus and Leona, because the 3 of them together just got 3 kills in a row, almost on cooldown of their ultimates.
Oh, poor Mundo is stuck again, and I think the
He's allowed to leave.
Yeah, he's allowed to leave. Okay.
No
The
pandas
is
necessary.
Yeah. He was done sexually harassing the Yorick.
Oh, but this should be a dead Yone.
Yeah, I'm also not really sure why Yone is in the mid lane here. Okay, but some follow-up action, nice CC layering, and yeah, they just evaporate like.
And I think that Duivelsei just lost track of where Aether was on the map, because they just had a free opportunity to walk away through the mid lane, but they walked back into the completely warded jungle. We see 3 control wards, 3 normal wards, and no vision from Duivelsei. That really hurt him over there. It will mean the second dragon will also go to Aether, and with the Chemtech dragon going over to them, it should mean that there is a nice soul coming up soon, unless the Jarvan can put up a nice steal. He will go for it.
Goes a little bit.
He gets it
anyway.
And he gets away.
Yeah, I mean that's a very crucial break to take as well, because we already talked about the fact that it does feel like the blue team skills maybe a bit better. And yeah, just denying the sole opportunity from the enemy team is always good. This gives the blue team much more time to scale up basically.
Yeah.
And just keep wave clearing. So Zedrada is still in the mid lane. I really would prefer them to place their CC bot lane in the mid lane with a lot of tools, you know, so that they can accelerate the lead here. So I really think it's a big mistake for the Varus to side lane.
And then we look to the bot lane here. Is he a sap window? Maybe he can clear some waves, but no, Yorick just one-shots the turret and he is gone.
As if the pools were not enough, as if the ghost wasn't enough. Also, 4 other people of his team arrive, and
yeah, and I think that's a really nice call, and they should keep pushing. Aether just expected to get the Herald for free, maybe trade it for a bot turret, but instead they lose 2 turrets and a kill for it, and that just means that Herald might not be very worth it.
No, especially depending on how they're going to use the Herald. So I think the thing that they must do is get the mid tower down as soon as possible, such that the Aurelian Soul can stop safely farming and clearing the mid wave. But as I said before, I feel like Aether is not pressuring the Aurelian Soul enough. Like he had to blow his flash earlier this game, and he's still untouched in that regard.
Yeah. But that of course also has to do with Zedrada just fumbling a play or 2 in the mid lane. Getting that, like losing a lot of the pressure that he could have on the Aurelian Soul. And of course they also haven't really looked to use the Leona and Fi ults yet on Aurelian Soul. They've mostly been targeting the bot lane and once the Yorick.
So I do see the Varus finally pathing to the mid lane and Zedrada going to the side lane, so this is gonna give Aether a little bit more pressure to set up the place through the mid lane. As their crazy CC bomb will be now on the map and basically able to move fast over the map and make plays. As you do see that very nice deep blue ward, even though it's not going to spot that much. But they're gonna just keep attacking the side lane here.
There's not really a way for this Yone to get out, unless he finds a really nice ult angle.
Oh, can he get 1-for-1?
Oh, he gets it! I
Nice.
think he should be alright in this 1v1 now.
I think he's gonna have too much life steal. They're hitting back and forth. Ooh, it's a nice sidestep. Gets hit anyway. I really think that he actually was gonna dodge that, but yeah, that was very close.
Yeah, really nice attempt and a good play to redeem himself. It's a nice outplay in the 1v2.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they need. It's gonna, yeah, give Aether a little bit of pressure here to look for something. Ooh, very nice buffer timing. And he with the
but
counter engage, and then the Leona
there's no-
counter engages.
There's no follow-up on that. It's like you see the perfect 3-man stun that you can hit, but there's no damage.
But the Warwick now also coming in. The Odin Soul also keeping it in, so it was planned that they were going to counter engage here. And they're slowly fighting back, but I think the Yorick is just slowly going to just kill everyone here. Baron
Yorick
also
and
coming.
Aurelian Sol being really good at killing those tanky frontliners.
Yeah, we saw a perfect flank from all angles, and you know that's a perfect opportunity for Yorick to just start slapping out of slapping everyone here. So the cute little pandas aren't as cute as you thought they would be. Also Drake is spawning here, but are they actually going to attempt this Baron? They are, and I think Aurelian Soul does so much damage on the Baron that it melts it. Like, this is so unfair. I mean, guys, look
Yeah,
at
this is insane. There's no ADC here, by the way.
it could also be the Yorick ultimate dealing a lot of damage, I'm not really sure.
Probably
I
the
believe that
combination.
Yorick also does a lot of damage, but Asol is not balanced. He didn't even have Leandris there.
I see the Mundo picking up an Anathemas. I wonder who he's gonna use that on. You would say the Aurelian Soul, but then he might have a lot of trouble in the 1v1 against Yorick.
Leona looking for his
Leona
play, but he
decides to
doesn't
die.
know where he goes in. Oh yeah, if you don't have the vision there, you cannot make that play. I mean, yeah, I think they just have to sack this Drake, chill out, and wait for Leona to get back on the map before they basically lose more members. I do think that the Yorick with the Baron buff is going to be really scary though. So this is really an opportunity for Duivelsei to, I think, break open some inhibs. I do think as soon as Aether makes one mistake, Yorick is going to run over the base.
Yeah, and I would say with the scaling that the composition of Duivelsei has and the lead that they have gotten for themselves, Aether almost needs a miracle at this point, or at least several picks in a row into potentially a Baron afterwards to flip the script back in their favor.
So one of the difficult things about the Aether comp is that yes, you have all of these tools, but if you start laying them together and just use everything on one person, then yeah, I mean, the other people are just going to take over the game.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful how you use your tools there. You have to save some ults maybe for some other threats. But at this point, I do feel like the threats may be a little bit too much. I think Yorick, for example, is just really strong, and the Erasmus is also really difficult to pick.
Yorick has 1/4 of their team's gold, so that's quite scary.
So how do they get back in this game? How should they play the team fight to get back? Okay, this is their answer. They're just gonna throw everything.
Yeah, I would say, luckily for Aether, this might not be the time to fight. Oh, Aurelian Sol getting caught. Aurelian Sol might die. Oh, this is difficult to keep track of. I think it's a losing fight.
All the things happening. So we see Zedrada here. Oh, we're jumping all over the place. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we see Zedrada die here, and it's only the Vi and the Mundo left. And yeah, I think the Mundo is also going to die here, which means that this is going to be at least 2 inhibs, if not more. I think the Vi should run to the mid lane and start just trying to stop that from getting destroyed.
Luckily the Baron buff just ran out, so they might be able to wave clear here, but yeah, the Duivelsei does choose to leave this lane now. There's still a Baron there, I think they can just end. Yorick decides to come back for the action. Aurelian's ulti being in. I think they win this 3v2. I think this is favorable for Duivelsei.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep hacking and slashing, and the Yorick is just too fast. Like, he is really strong. Zedrada is trying as well. Gets the shutdown though, but
you take that.
yeah, you take that. Honestly, like Duivelsei could have just backed off and chilled. Like, there's not really a reason to overchase there. But I do respect the fact that he's like, no, guys, you know what? I want to end the game. I wanna move on to the other game. You know, we already won this. We
Yeah,
don't need to practice one much longer. But now he did give a big shutdown away, and Aether is in a position to, you know, farm some gold up with that inhibitor down. It's not going to be much up to fight over in the next few minutes.
yeah. And Emery, you asked how Aether could get back into this game, and I think there's just one way for them, and it's making picks where Varus can hit the target you pick. If the Vi and Leona dive too deep, like we saw in the bot jungle, or like when we saw Vi dive on top of Yorick once or twice already, if Varus can't hit those people, they just don't die anymore. They're too strong. Varus is your only source of damage. Yone is not strong enough. You need to pick the front line, but that's really difficult.
Yeah. I do agree that it would be really good for them if they just burst the Yorick down. I do think that that is a really big threat in these fights, and that they should maybe not split their attention too much to the backline. Even though that range score is also scary. So Jarvan ult being used, Vi just backing off. The Vi just going back in, flashes out. But Yone with the flank here starts hitting them. The Vi ulting back in on the Yorick. It is a bit sloppy, but the Vi somehow kills the Annie.
Varus still living. I think the Jarvan is out. And on the other side, it seems like this fight was once again lost for Zephyr.
The fight is lost. Oh,
definitely.
Yeah,
oh, and there's a big ult. Yes.
Oh, no
lost.
mercy for the Varus. Just gets absolutely destroyed by a huge comet. I mean, oh, that must hurt, and I think that's just the game.
The Varus was bleeding out on the ground, and instead of, you know, hitting him on his head with a rock to end it, they decided to throw a freaking planet on his face.
Yeah, that Varus is. Wow. I think he needs to respawn another time to get back in this game.
Yeah, he can try respawning in the next game maybe. And there was after getting an early lead and throwing their lead away, besides that point, it was quite a clean game from Duivelsei. We gotta give them props.
Yeah, absolutely. That Yorick knew how to take over the game, and I also think that Nilio, the Jarvan, played really well. Made the right decision to invest in that top lane, and yeah, yeah, I think it's a big mistake for Aether to leave open that Yorick, and I would be very excited to see the second game of this, you know, without the Yorick, because I'm pretty sure that's going to get banned. See if that would even up the skills a little bit.
Yeah, and I think
But,
it's just really disrespectful. Like I can see why you want to pick Mundo, but if the enemy mains a champion that is able to beat you in lane, then you should either ban that champion or not blind pick, you know, the losing champ against his main.
Yeah, also Mundo, of course, is a champion that's like, you know, favorite when there's a lot of magic damage in the team, and yeah, I also didn't really see that angle too much, so.
No,
Oh well.
just of a bit of a blunder. They could have gone away with it with how well their bot lane was playing, but they got desperate. They were looking for too many picks, and it all kind of went downhill.
No worries though. I do think that Aether is good enough to adapt. They're for sure gonna ban the Yorick, and I'm sure that they're gonna win the second game. Although we're not gonna watch it, I suppose we will update the chat about it.
Yes. For now, we will not be watching the second game. I will be switching over to Zephyr Zeus against Erasmus Esports CG for the second game. I believe they are still in their first game from the looks of it. So we'll be taking a short break. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see if the game of Zeus has ended.
See you soon.
See you soon. Right. We zitten in de breakscreen. Oh, dan moet... Ja, klopt. Ja, maar dan zit je like, een beetje op iets te praten en dan denk je, oh, daar gaat iemand dood. Oh, wacht, ik zat net nog... Oh, ja, dus de Dragon Ball. Het gaat echt heel snel, zeker deze game. Dus... Ja, en ik wil like, net iets zeggen van, ik denk dat Aether, wel terug kan komen als ze gewoon goed de picks gebruiken. Oh, hier hebben ze een goede initial pick. En dan, einde van de fight, ja, is de game klaar. Ik dacht, ja, nee, never mind. Alrighty. Ja, we kunnen nu gewoon even pauze nemen. Even wat drinken pakken. Oh, ze horen ons nog op stream. Hello. Hello guys, I'll be looking to take away... Why will the red back? Interesting, I did not... I mean, yeah, they're seeing in chat. I'll be muting us then. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks Jordi for the message. And be right back. Hello, hello, hello. Emre is almost back. Zeus is just out of their game. So we'll be slowly transitioning over to the second game of the day. I'll go and ask Matthijs what they ended up playing in the first game. Yeah, it was an entertaining first game. Unfortunate, of course, to see Zephyr lose as a very unbiased caster. But Duivelsei definitely deserved the win. So we'll try to get the result of their second game on the screen later as well. Oh, Matthijs does not have an OPTG. That's unfortunate. They lost their first game. Well, this is a terrible set of news we just got a row. That's unfortunate. No more DM leaking. Yeah, that is interesting actually because Zephyr Zeus just played against Erasmus Omen, which is on paper Erasmus' second team. And their next game will be against Erasmus' first team. So they'll immediately have a chance at redemption, but a difficult task ahead of them as well. Of course, Zeus not playing with a complete full roster. Matthijs filling in for Scientist, who went over to the dark side. I believe to Leiden Academy. But I'm sure Matthijs will fit right in. He has a lot of experience on many different Zephyr rosters. There's yes, the cutie folder, indeed. And will join me quite soon. But what did you guys think of the first game? Do you think that Duivelsei won it deservedly and based on their draft, or did Aether hand them the win with some easy mistakes? I feel like with the early game that Aether showed on the table, they didn't really deserve to win that game, but they had some nice plays to get back into it, and then they threw it away again because they weren't able to continue their streak of picks that they had in a row. Yeah, I needed VAR to check some of those engages. And welcome back, Emre.
Hello, hello.
We're live right now.
Okay, let's go. Are we actually live though, or maybe this time my mic is muted, or
That's always a good thing to check. If someone wants to say hi to Emre, then this is the time.
can I see some POC champs in the chat?
Thanks, guys.
All good, all good. Thank you, Rob.
Alright, so I just asked Matthijs. He does not have an open G for us of Erasmus Esports CG. But he did tell me that they lost their first game against Erasmus Omen, the second team of Erasmus. So, so that is pretty spicy because I would say that was probably their easiest game of the group stage, and they lost it. Of course, it's double round robin. One loss is not all that important. But it does mean that they really want to win the next game to get some momentum under the belts.
I mean, they are playing with a different jungler, so that might have some impact.
I mean, definitely, but there's a lot of individual power in the roster of Zeus. You would say that Joris and Lucas together should be very self-sustaining in getting leads against what is on paper definitely a weaker opponent.
Lucas gets the leads, yours gives the leads.
Oof, oof.
No, that's a joke.
So let me get the enemy team over here. So Erasmus Esports CG. There's some names that the long time DCL viewers might remember are on there. Bangers such as Granite Simon, Kibakun, Blissful Fire, Ali Plane are all part of Erasmus CG's lineup. Those are some names that raise some fears in the hearts of Zephyr members from years before. So I hope that Zeus can put in a good performance against them.
Yeah, I still sometimes have nightmares about that lineup. I got smacked by them once. You too, Robin. I mean, you were coaching us.
Yeah, definitely. I would say we didn't get smacked as far as I could remember. We definitely were not like Erasmus was definitely the strongest team in our pool. So yeah, it was difficult.
I mean, I'm not sure about the not getting smacked part, but yeah, I suppose you look at it from a different angle. You're too nice.
You guys did your best.
Yeah, exactly. The coach being positive here, like, oh, you guys did your. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. No, that was really bad. So they're trying to get in the game, or?
I believe they are not yet setting up a custom lobby. So we have
Okay.
some
I,
more
I guess
time to
they
talk.
just played their game. They're chilling a little bit. You know how it goes. All good.
Oh, but good news. Matthias has just kindly provided us with the OPTG of the enemy team.
Okay.
I send it to you
So
as well.
now we can flame the enemy team.
So some of the names I just mentioned are on there, some are not. So Granit Simon, Ali Plane, and Kibigun are all in there, but we also have Otto von Riesmark, a very cool name, and Striff.
Yeah, I've not heard about those names before.
Me neither.
They sound really cool. Otto von Rismark
Yeah, I agree.
and Strit. But we do know the Alipane and Kikakun. So those are two really good players. So expect a pretty good bot lane. So yeah, do you think that Joris and Lucas are going to be able to hold their own against this bot lane?
Well, I'm quite certain they have played against this bot lane already a few times this year, so they should know the dangers of what to do, what not to do against them. It's not like this will be their first rodeo, but yeah, it's a difficult one. Definitely more difficult than what they had the game before. Uh, so I'm wondering if they can bounce back. I would say that Joris and Lucas together are a really strong duo, and they should be able to do it.
And what do you think about Matthijs playing with Zeus? Do you think that it's going to be an immediately good fit? Does it fit their playstyle? Honestly, I haven't seen Zeus play for a long time, so
Well, I can tell you a bit about what Tristan's role is on Zeus.
okay.
Tristan doesn't really play the hard farming junglers. He really plays the more tanky utility junglers to play to enable his team, especially the bot lane, of course. But he plays the meta champs. He plays Maokai, he plays Fi, he plays Sejuani, Jarvan. Matthijs plays some of those as well. The Wukong of he also plays, so there's some overlap in that regard. But some of the more aggressive offensive picks that Matthijs also likes to play, like the Kha'Zix and the Karthus, are not really in the pool of Tristan.
Do you think that we are gonna see such aggressive picks though, or do you think that
I think it would not be in the realm of expectations. I think Kerry would prefer to stick with picks that are more natural to what the team is used to playing with. Uh, and also, I think that generally Matthijs tends to be used as an like the jungle position is generally used as a more early pick, which makes it more difficult to just get away with an early Kha'Zix or an early Karthus.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also difficult to delay your jungle pick without showing that you're willing to play a Karthus. That's another thing. Like, it's not a pick that you want to pick very early in the draft either.
Yeah. So I would say if it's left open, I would expect Matthijs on the Wukong. If that's banned, Jarvan. If that's banned, it's Pandemonium. It could be anything. You could see Udyr at that point. Something went wrong. Something went wrong.
How good is Shyvana support? I can't speak out of experience, but I would say pretty bad. Yours in the track. Oh man, yeah. If you can convince Lucas to play Shyvana support, then I will call him that the rest of the game.
I have some potentially terrifying news in the sense of that they're using tournament codes without spectate. So we need to either convince them to not use the tournament codes and play in a custom lobby for us, or we might not be able to spectate the game, which would be a big disappointment.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I guess the only thing we can do is spectate Aether again. But yeah, I mean, why would they really want to do that?
We could spectate Aether, yeah.
If it really comes down to it, then I guess we don't really have a choice.
I'll ask them. If it's not possible, make Matthijs go live. They are at Zephyr right now, so they're using the Zephyr PC, so I'm sure they would... Actually, I don't think they're using the Zephyr PCs. They're playing on their laptops. Matthijs' laptop definitely is not able to support streaming and playing on it at the same time. So that's unfortunate. I know how much you would all love a Matthijs POV stream. So I'll be trying to work things out with Zeus and see if they can convince their opponents to change it up. Yeah, for now, do we want to just start spectating the other game in the meantime? That probably makes it more difficult to arrange this.
I think it's better if we're just
Out of the game,
a
right?
little bit more patient. But of course, once the Aether game starts, can we still spectate it then, or are they already in game?
They are already in game for 14 minutes now, so we can see some of the picks here and there. We have Mr. Porobeer on the Belvet, Zedrada on the Anivia. Oh man, I would have wanted to see this game. Sounds spicy.
Yeah, let's give it like 2 minutes, and then I think we just hop into that game. Like,
They are trying to arrange it right now.
okay, good.
So they're either messaging tournament direction or they're messaging their enemy team. So sorry for the delays. We'll be right back. It's a Belvet for Kevin. You heard that right. You can see it right there. Yes. Should we go back to a break then for now? And
Yeah, sure.
put on some more
Yeah,
chill
I'm a bit
music.
distracted as well. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do a small break, and then I'll be back with lots of energy.
Yeah. So we'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll let you guys know. So, see you in a bit. And we are back already with some good news this time. The teams are switching it up. They are going towards a custom lobby, which means we'll be able to actually spectate the game. There's already got the draft links. I'll quickly switch over to that. Transition. Draft hasn't started yet, but we can already start making some predictions. Looking at the team of Erasmus, their top laner seems to be a Gangplank main this season. I wouldn't say a one trick, but having a Gangplank against you when you're also playing against a bot focused team with Eleplane and Kibakun could be very dangerous. So I think Zeus will have that pick on its radar.
Yeah, I'm also not sure if Midget can deal with that. If you don't punish the Gangplank, then I mean it's a pretty strong champion in the early game, scales extremely well. So if you're good on Gangplank, yeah, usually people don't want to play against that.
Yeah, Killian, Midget, of course, also does play, really likes to play Kled, which is a naturally good matchup into the Gangplank. But yeah, it remains to be seen if both sides are left open, if they're willing to go for it. It's of course a very volatile matchup as well. If the Kled gets behind, it's a fairly useless champion. We'll see.
Yeah.
As the teams
Are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to play with the Kled?
exactly. I think Zeus has practiced quite a bit with it. So if they would somehow have to play against a blind Gangplank, I'm fairly certain they would go for it. But we'll see. I don't think Gangplank is a first rotation pick anyway, so it's not an early ban you have to throw. Instead, you might look at the bot lane and see that there's a Master 300 LP Zeri main against you. That sounds quite terrifying. Might not want to play against that. Granite Simon also really likes to play some of the quicker junglers in the sense that they wall quick, like Lilia and Hecarim. I really likes to be very mobile on the map. I'm wondering what pick he will bring in. As the draft starts, and we see the Xayah band from Erasmus and the Gragas band from Zeus. Xayah band potentially being targeted at preventing Xayah Rakan, of course, but also making a potential Fi pick from Erasmus side stronger. One of the other junglers that Granite Simon likes to play. Also a good way, of course, to shut Joris down. Remove the Xayah. Potentially pick a strong dive jungler to focus the enemy ADC. And without Xayah, he can't really play against that.
I mean, yeah, that and Zeus also just a good champion in getting prio, which is always important, and especially good for teams that can use that prio. So I think at this level, you'll see the players use that to their advantage much more. And thus, also the reason why certain picks are just stronger than other picks.
I do want to highlight this Cassiopeia ban, which is a respect ban over towards Midgard, who has been playing it, or spamming it, I should say, in the top lane recently.
I mean,
Not
that champion is also very strong, and as a potential counter pick, really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, Lucianami being taken off the table by Zeus. Don't want to face against that combo. And we have to play with an Ezreal. That's a
Okay,
very,
very interesting choice.
I think that's a very passive first pick, and it really allows Zeus to look for the picks like the Aphelios or the Jinx to go for the scaling ADCs that Joris is definitely able to play. You see the Wukong from Matthijs? I think he'll be very happy with the pick. And there's the Aphelios.
Yeah, very solid choice. Yeah, basically waiting for blue side to show a bit more information before they maybe put a trash or an enchanter, Lulu with it. And it's
Yeah,
gonna allow the videos to sort of scale for free, I think, with the Ezreal being a bit less efficient. You see the trash being picked away, so they don't want the trash video combo to be there.
and I do get that, but Ezreal Trash is not really a strong combo of itself. Ezreal doesn't really need the Trash Lantern uh, as protection. And
Yeah,
if Aphelios gets paired with the Lulu now, I feel like you have a very good 2v2. That
exactly.
definitely outskills the bot lane as well. There we see the quick moving jungler in Lilia. Uh,
Yeah,
Interesting pick.
interesting.
I think it's a very fun champion to watch. The ult is a very high impact ability.
Unless you're TSM, then you can get a 5 minute sleep and not do anything. The
It's
5 minute sleep to disengage. And we see the Nautilus pick, opting for something completely different than what we thought.
it's more. It could be more interesting than you give it credit for, because Nautilus has been played a lot in the mid lane in MSI recently. So this
Oh.
could be a flex pick, Nautilus. Of course,
Hmm.
Nautilus Aphelios is not the ideal lane for Aphelios, but it's definitely playable. Still a nice setup. You can target the Ezreal with it. But if you
Oh,
move
it's
it over
definitely not bad.
towards the mid lane, it allows you to potentially still go for the Lulu. But you would need quite a bit more damage from the top lane in that case.
Yeah, and I do think that with the Lilia being out there and in Israel, I think having some sort of lockdown is not that bad. It's always good to make sure that if a hook lands, uh, yeah, you can actually have some kill pressure. And we see a Cho'Gath and an Olaf getting banned. I'm not really sure why the Cho'Gath is getting banned.
I think that's most likely Cho'Gath mid being targeted, but it's difficult to say.
We also saw the Klet getting banned.
And with this Ornn pick, I would say that it kind of shows the hand of Zeus probably not putting the Nautilus in the mid lane. I think Nautilus, Ornn, and another support is probably too low damage. I don't think Aphelios Wukong will be enough to carry it completely, and you probably are looking to pick up some magic damage alongside it. When
Yeah,
Nautilus mid was being played, it was generally with an AP jungler or an AP top laner together with an AD jungler and AD top laner, so that at least the spread damage comes from both top and jungle. Now I do expect the Nautilus to just be the support and to finally see a mid laner for Farindor in the mid lane. Uh, Probably a control mage, knowing his playstyle. The side is being picked away. Uh, Definitely some nice ults, especially the Nautilus ult's a great one to steal. And the Camille. Erasmus
okay.
Camille against Zephyr's Ornn. That feels like a classic.
Yeah, we've seen that matchup a lot of times, but Ornn is in a really good spot right now. I do feel like I heard that they fixed a bug. Um, I'm not really sure exactly what they fixed, but he's better now.
I believe you directly. I wouldn't exactly know what got fixed on him, but I do know he's getting more and more popular again.
Yeah, I something I heard, but I forgot what exactly they fixed. But yeah, in general, he's simply just the best tank again, as he usually is in pro play. Um.
Do we have Stream Link?
Oh, okay. So it's a pretty minor bug, but you cannot cleanse the ult anymore.
As in the wait,
Oh, and the charge.
how could you cleanse the ult? It's a knockup, right?
I think the
The application of the brittle is it that?
cleansing the stun no longer causes the disable duration for the knockup to end early.
Oh, so it is probably coded as both a stun and a knockup, but by cleansing the stun part, you would also cleanse the knockup somehow. That's
Well,
interesting.
you um decrease the time of the knockup or something
That's whack.
because of the cleanse. Because the cleanse reduces gives you tenacity, right? So you are CC'd for uh yeah less long.
Mhm.
But since it's a knockup, it's not supposed to work with that. But again, it seems pretty minor because like how many people are running cleanse?
ADCs, quite a bit.
ADC is quite a bit, but yeah, I mean to expect Ornn to suddenly become a lot stronger because of that is pretty interesting.
Anyway, Emre, let's take a look back at the draft and argue one side for me. Which is stronger? Would you prefer Erasmus' draft right now, or would you like to play Zeus' draft?
Definitely Zeus's draft. I think Erasmus' draft is just. I mean, I'm already not really a fan of the bot lane. It feels a little bit awkward. You have an Ezreal and a Thresh doesn't combine too well. You don't need the safety from the Thresh that it provides. If you want to make this work, you have to play Ezreal really aggressively, but I think that is going to be pretty difficult against an Aphelios Nautilus. So a support that can poke with the Ezreal is usually really nice, so that doesn't fare too well to me. Um, Also, I feel like their comp is just much more difficult to execute. Like, how are you gonna team fight, right? Like, if you wanna start a fight, then I feel like Silas has to, steal an ultimate, and that becomes pretty obvious. Thresh has to land a hook, or maybe Lily has to flash ult.
Yeah, and
So
they're not really inbuilt synergies between their gems. I feel like generally if you draft Camille, it's really nice to pick something that becomes her dive buddy, right? Like a
yeah,
Galio or a Jarvan or an Orianna, something that if you jump on something can add to your damage. But Sylas can't really get through the front line. Lilia can't really just walk through the front line, and Ezreal just hits the front person as well. So it's more difficult for Camille to really threaten the backline in this composition. I also think that Ezreal Thresh is well just a bad combination. And yeah, I don't know. Without any dedicated frontline on Erasmus side either, I feel like they'll be heavily dependent on their solo lanes, skill gapping, or just snowballing out of control. And if that doesn't happen, I would also favor Zeus draft over.
yeah, as you're saying, and then you have Zeus's draft, which is just really straightforward, right? Like they have multiple options of engage. Their team fight is pretty straightforward. They have, it's very clear where their damage is coming from. Like they have two hard carries basically. Um, and overall execution was just much easier. And I also think that they have more opportunity to do things in the early game. I'm not really that sure what Erasmus will do in the early stage of the game. I think Lilia is going to path towards top and just simply full clear. And yeah, Wukong has more options. Feel like Wukong could path to bot, but he might not want to try and gank an Ezreal lane that much. So it's going to be interesting to see what Wukong is going to prefer to do. I do think he's going to have prior from the bot lane though, so it will be easy for him to maybe invade if he decides to go path towards the bot side.
Yep, definitely. We haven't really talked about the Rise yet. Of course, the last pick by Zeus. Uh, it's an interesting one. Generally starts as just a priority machine in the early game, getting a lot of opportunities to contest scuttles, but also to set up for ganks for the Wukong in the mid lane. And then later transitions to a split pushing threat normally, but I would say against a Camille it doesn't really get to do that. So I'll be more focused on just dealing spread AoE damage in the team fights. I think it's a fairly decent pick. There's not a lot on the team of Erasmus that can easily threaten a Rise.
I
So
also feel like his laning phase should be fine, but I'm not too familiar with the matchup. But it sounds okay. Could be mistaken.
no, I would agree.
Yeah, and you know, if Lilia is gonna have to clear a lot in the early game, and if Zeus is gonna have prio, is the Wukong going to be able to do something with that prio? Are they going to be able to get leads in the early game? Yeah, that's something that we're gonna find out right now. The game has started.
Yes. Things are loading on the map and I'm fixing the time controls and the objective timers.
Yeah, we see just a regular fan out. Like both teams have a hooking champion, so they could have tried something cheesy, but we see that both teams really opt to chill out. Which is kind of funny because, as you can see, the tri-bush in the bot lane is not warded and they're pinging a potential invade. So this could have been a scenario where an invade could have worked.
It's interesting. I do like that.
Vision.
I do like that Erasmus puts the ward in the middle bush on bot lane, preventing any cheese from the Aphelios Nautilus. The last thing that you want is just face checking the Nautilus hook on level 1 before Ezreal even SSE, losing half your HP and just conceding all pressure you have in that lane.
Yeah, exactly. Their summoners will be worth a lot in the early stage of the game. Especially because it will be possible for Erasmus here to get level 2 first, I think, if the SO plays correctly and constantly uses the Q on the wave. Stack is passive. I do think that is definitely an option. And I do think that they should try and look for that. Because it will feel nice if they can hit level 2 first. So I'm wondering if that's also something that they're gonna do. And we do see him using his Q on the wave. Doesn't really care too much. Okay, kind of a risky here, because if Esso would miss that Q, lose all of his stacks. But yeah, very nice trade by the Erasmus bot lane, basically making sure to use that Ezreal passive at level 1 even. So that's nice to see. Definitely know when their champions are strong.
Yeah, no, smart. They fought before the second wave could get there, which means it's way easier for the Ezreal, of course, to hit those Qs. It was just a good heads-up play by the Erasmus bot lane to find the window that their level 1 is actually better.
Yeah, it also shows that, you know, how good these players are, being able to use such a small advantage in the very early stages of the game. And yeah, I mean, the obviously Ali lane must be confident. Oh, we see a little roam here.
Oh, and
Flash
the hook
away.
misses.
Ooh, yeah, very
Even though the
nice
glacial
fight
augment
by
was
the-
there, the phase rush was enough to move out of the way. Good movement by Farendor. Able to dodge out of the 3-man gank.
Also, could you swap Ezreal and Trash?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Thank you very much. So, yeah.
It makes it easier to read the CS.
Yeah, and also maybe because I'm like more focused on the supports. Okay, we see Lucas hooking in. Look from the Trash landing on the Helios though, and yeah, they're simply just gonna trade back. So that's one of the risks that you have as Nautilus. Oh, but we see also the Monkey Boy heading up towards the bot lane, but I think not much is going to happen unless the Helios maybe base the Trash to go in.
Take a look.
Maybe he's just there to help the Aphelios push out the wave safely. But overall, that's one of the risks that you have as Nautilus. You hook in, but if you hit the wall, then you're just stuck there. and yeah, they'll just trade back on you. You also saw the Astral being extremely confident. Okay, nothing to worry about here. Its wave is a little bit in trouble. Throws out the lantern. Avilos has the flash.
Oh, but this should be a kill for the Wukong now. It goes over to the Aphelios even, and there we have that Aphelios baiting Thresh into going for a play because
It took a minute, but that's okay. There's no problem. Prolonged bait by Joris, very nice. Gets an early kill, so that's really good. That's also what they need. You will also be able to get a plane. And we do see, yeah, the... Okay, Lucas also going in, puts more pressure on the Ezreal. That's really good. Delays the back of the Ezreal. It means that they have even more time and maybe even, you know, get another plate. But I think they're just gonna go in base to make sure that they're not gonna yeah, fall behind too much in terms of pressure.
if the Aphelios has white guns there, I can definitely take another play, but with this gun combination, not a lot of attack speed.
I do get a comment that your game is maybe zoomed in. I'm not sure if that's true.
It might be. There's a way to zoom out further, but it's currently not zoomed in, at
I
least.
think it's okay. Sure. Okay. Maybe I'm getting trolled.
Oh, I can zoom out further like this. If people like this, we can keep it this way. Makes it more easier to follow plays. I have to find the button combination.
I guess I'm being used to LSC being auto zoomed out. Yeah, I mean, we're not LSC production, sadly. We're a little bit above that, you know. But
Yeah, but I do like this more. So zooming out is a good idea anyway. So thanks for the suggestion.
I agree. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on.
Yeah, it makes it easier to follow the flow of team fights. It's very easy to lose track of.
Yeah, meanwhile we do see a CS difference between the junglers. Lilia, you know, obviously hasn't done much in the game yet, just farming and chilling. But we do see the Drake being started, and I'm not really sure if this is a really good Drake timing. Also some action in the mid lane. Lucas has spotted them out, and the question is, are they going to do anything about this? I do think they have the tools to fight back, and they're certainly looking for the fight. Aphelios gets hooked, has no clench. Will simply turn on the Lilia. Lilia dies by the Aphelios. Now they turn their attention onto the Ezreal. Ezreal gets away. Wukong flashes after the Ezreal. But now Sylas is back in the action. He's there first. Ryze is a little bit late to the party. Doesn't really have mana to do much. And yeah, the dragon... Oh, okay.
Oh, and he just kills him.
Just like that, hits the E, and yeah, that's a pretty big lead for the mid lane now as well. So even though that they don't take the Drake, I feel like the fight went to the favor of the blue side.
Yep, and it all came down up to having mid lane priority for the Sylas, on top of him also hitting level 6 earlier than the Ryze. Ryze also being low on mana, not being able to join the fight with his ult, and just not being really able to impact it. Meant that the man advantage was for Erasmus, and even though the Wukong was able to do a lot of damage on the Thresh and Ezreal.
Yeah, so I do think the reason that they went for the Drake probably has to do with the fact that Sylas said like, hey guys, I'm level 6, you know, the Ryze has no mana, and this is, you know, if you want to go for a Drake, this is a good call. And I think they don't really care about the Drake, but really just wanted to use the level advantage in the mid lane to get a good skirmish off. Which again shows basically the macro decisions of these,
I'm not sure what Joris is doing here, by the way. He's just taking 4 Ezreal Qs to the face for no reason.
He's playing Mundo Dodgeball, but then he realized that he has nothing to throw. So, but that's okay. He has the red gun. He's gonna heal back up. Playing the might games. He's taking those Qs right now, but he will start juking them later.
We see Zeus moving over to the Herald, willing to trade it over for the Dragon most likely.
I mean, I think Lilia is just still farming, you know, she's doing her own thing, knows that her team is ahead right now, and all she has to do is just, make sure that she keeps that tempo, just keeps clearing, such that she can accumulate the gold lead over the Wukong. Matthijs on the other end is basically trying to get these objectives and get gold on the map in that way.
It makes me wonder if Erasmus even knew that they were doing the Herald. I feel like Matthijs might have dodged vision by jumping over the wall with his clone. And if so, it feels like potentially a missed opportunity. Now the Wukong just after his recall, more gold and items in his pocket. Probably able to contest his dragon again. Unless your Rise dies, of course.
He's not gonna die, but he's gonna take a very unfortunate trade here, and we see that the Silas is putting a lot of pressure, and yeah, once again, they, because of the mid pressure as well, also the bot pressure, they can easily take this Drake. Yep. Also, Fidos was chunked out, which means that some action going on in the top lane is Ornn OP. Okay, Camille has to flash out.
Oh no! Oh what?
Oh wait!
He dashed back in it! He dashed back in it! He dodged it, which is amazing, and he just dashed back in.
Okay, meanwhile some action here, the Wukong going all in on the trash, but doesn't have the damage to do anything and just dies. Getting invaded on.
You have to say, this Rise pick has not been working out so far. The Silas getting the better hand on at least the lane push and the priority.
Yeah, and the combination of the mid lane prio and now as well with the bot lane prio makes it such that the Wukong also cannot play in his bot side jungle. But yeah, I mean, do you really want to play towards the top side where you have an Ornn? And the answer to that is probably most likely no. He also has that Rift Herald still that he wants to put bot lane, so it's also pretty obvious that he wants to be around the bot lane. So it must really hurt to get invaded on. Also we see some deep vision from the blue side in their jungle. And also some protective vision, like we see 2 pings on the blue side, which yeah, the blue side vision game here is really good. They know that the enemy has no deep vision of them, and they do have deep vision, so they can be one step ahead at all times.
Yep. I do expect Matthijs to look for the Herald on bot lane.
But they were not ahead of this play!
Aha! I think even if they don't get this pick, they still place it bot, but now it gets even easier to burst his turret down. I think there's a realistic chance that they get the full turret even with the map placement of Lilia right now. So they're able to take... Oh no, they could just go for 1.5 plate. That's unfortunate. I would have liked to see them try to threaten a little bit more. I guess with the low health bar of
yeah, they also don't know where the Lilia is, and also the Silas having prio and TP up maybe would have been too much to risk. Again, we see that lead in the jungle getting bigger and bigger, but Wukong doing everything that he can to set up his bot lane here. Meanwhile, Ornn doing Ornn things, now slowly starts winning the trades as well. And
yeah, first kill helps a lot for that, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I've recently played this matchup. I don't play top lane that much anymore, but it was really difficult to play a lane against Ornn. That champion is, yeah, tough to beat in a laning phase. Let's just say that. And that's exactly what we see here, but it doesn't matter. Camille can just chill, equal in CS, farm up. There is going to be a point in the game where she will beat Ornn. At least that's what I hope.
Surely. Question is just, will it be 2 or 3 items?
Yeah, which feels like it takes forever, right? If the Ornn can just team fight around that time, then yeah, I mean, this should pick even do a lot. And we see the Ezreal just manning up, being forward.
And this flash is just a tilt flash, right? Like, there's no way that's actually gonna... Ah! They're going for a return play with the Rise ult.
There is a shutdown here on the Ezreal though, but I feel like, oh, we should probably look for that shutdown. The Lilia gets a sleep off and oh, dies.
Yes, he gets another kill. Oh no, they didn't even get the Ezreal!
What a disaster! No, the left is shield being just enough to shield the Ezreal from dying, and now it's a complete disaster. They split their attention by going on just everyone. They should really focus their damage on one person and preferably the person with the bigger shutdown.
You just know in their comms are like, no, this Ezreal we definitely have, so let's make sure we also get Thresh and their Lilia. And instead they get nothing.
Oh, yeah, it's really greedy, especially when bounties are up. You cannot do that if you're behind, because now they're really far behind. Now it's going to be difficult to, yeah, basically make a proactive play. Now they probably have to try and cross map and make sure they keep trading gold. The second dragon is also spawning. So I wonder what they're gonna do. I think it's best if they sack the Drake and just try to trade something from the top side of the map.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
and this Ezreal, I mean, I can understand now why he first picked it. He's really utilizing the champion to its fullest potential in the early game.
Yeah, of course, being enabled by the early fumbles from Zephyr around the dragon and then the bot lane, but 5-1 Ezreal with more than an Essence Reaver in his pocket.
I'm not sure if I agree. I mean, he was putting the pressure down at level 1 already. So he is definitely super confident.
Why is this Ophelia still not in base? That should be a dead. Nautilus, he does have flash, so he gets out.
Oh, okay, that Phyllis was getting spotted there. But yeah, so as we predicted, Wukong moving to the top side of the map right now to try and take something back. As Lydia is gonna chill out and take the break. Meanwhile, Silas with that cryo, basically winning every trade as well.
Yeah, the Rai is really hitting like a wet
The Rice
noodle.
back.
I think they might have to give up this Herald even.
Yeah, I think they should use the Ornald and just simply try and fight right now while the Lydia is in the bot side. That's what they're trying to do. The Wukong now in the middle of everything, ults in. Nice flash by the Silas, gets the safety, uses the Ornald on the Rise.
They're getting nothing. They're not getting a kill.
Yeah, Wukong eating the Wook in the face, dives to death, double kill to the trash. And that's painful. I mean, at this point, I think that they're too far behind. The synergy isn't there, and they just bled too much gold. And at this point, you know, they tried to cross map, right, which I think was a very good call, but it looks like they can't even do that. And
Yeah.
it all comes back to two things, I think: the mid lane pressure, combined with the Ezreal just being mechanically very good this game.
Absolutely. Kibakun, I mean, Ali Plane showing a great performance on the Ezreal. And it's back to the drawing board for Zephyr Zeus. This type of lead is much larger than what we saw in the game of Aether versus Duivelsei. And in that game as well, Aether at least had a lot of tools to look for return plays. But you gotta feel that with Ryze and Filials, it's really difficult to get those things happen compared to having Varus and Yone. Like,
I do think they have the tools, but the issue is just that they're a little bit too far behind the enemy team right now, such that if they try and do something, that they're just very likely to lose. They really have to wait for
the perfect opportunity.
yeah, or make a really big mistake. But yeah, that's going to be difficult with the way they're playing right now. And the Ornn is also stuck in the top lane, so they cannot even use his teamfight presence or something to do something, because they're also not going to win teamfights at this point. So yeah, we said before, right? Which team do you prefer? And we were like, yeah, we prefer red side. You know, blue side really needs a lead to do something, and well, they have a lead.
They got their lead, yeah.
What are they drawing? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe penis.
Well, I think we should just be looking at how Erasmus tries to play out this game. See if they can do it flawlessly or if they make some fumbles on the road. Scene engagement. Really old, really.
I mean, these are the small things that you want to look for, right? I mean, this is really nice. Lily ult down, it's a big cooldown. You see Joris still playing confident. That's what I love about Joris, he doesn't care. He will keep playing confident. He's not scared, he will never be scared. And who knows that they might find a small opportunity. Herald is being put down. I think that's an easy mid tower down. But again, the side is using his cryo to group with his team. And yeah, there's not much that Zeus can do against this.
That's just a dead Nautilus.
Very well execution by the mid laner. Meanwhile, this might be Camille's power spike or using the ult to disengage. Is he going to be able to get to the blast cone?
I think he could have, but instead he chose not to.
knocks the Camille into the tower, gets the kill. Now we see some more trades going happening here. Wukong is going in. Silas is getting low, but keeps himself alive with the healing. Meanwhile, Zeus is also pretty low. Ezreal again diving forward, killing the Wukong, and Silas hitting his E.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I think Zeus is playing this pretty well, or Erasmus is playing this pretty cocky. I think diving underneath the mid turret with like 3 or 4 champions on different occasions in a row is not a great call. It's just the gold difference at this point in the game that's allowing Erasmus to get away with it.
But that is exactly what Zeus need. Big shutdown to the Rise, 1k gold. I mean that's a lot of gold from a scaling champion. So that's gonna help Rise accelerate him to his second item, which they will need. They're gonna need some power spikes if they want to contest the Soul. I don't think they're gonna be able to fight the third Drake, but they need to do something to be able to fight the fourth Drake.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, I do feel like Erasmus is limit testing a little bit, but yeah, if you have such a big lead, then you know, it's the first game of the tournament, or maybe their second game. I'm not really sure. Probably their second game, yeah. But the first game against Zeus, I think. Yeah, do you really want to play as if it's like the final best of 3 or something, or best of 5, right? I don't think so, right? You wanna push it to the max and see what you can pull off. Basically, they're confident.
Ezreal just checking the Baron. No funky plays with the Rise ult going on here.
I mean, they know that they're on the Drake, no vision on the Baron, so you know, doing the Baron could have been a counter play, but I don't feel like they would have the damage for that now. But yeah, good to see that they checked that anyway. Now they're slowly transitioning into the Baron area, where they're gonna set up the vision.
Checking in on the gold, we see that the mid lane and ADC are really the only two roles that are quite far ahead. But that's also where all the difference this game has come from. It's that mid lane pressure, it's the 2v2 on bot lane. And it's just been very difficult for Zeus to fight back. See, with the way that the booking is behind right now, there's also just not enough team fight damage to blow up the carries. We can see if they can do it this time, maybe get a Camille.
Yeah, and even with really suboptimal engages, you know, it almost works, but yeah, they did overstep, so that's good. That's gonna give them some breathing room. Erasmus is not gonna be able to force the Baron.
They really shouldn't be able to, no?
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. They get to play the game for a bit longer. And as I say that, the Nautilus is being caught, the ult is being used, and he's dead. The flash from the Thresh plays the Rise towards him, and he's dead as well. Being on the counterplay in the bot lane.
I think they should be able to get it.
Wukong there as well. Silas using the Ornn ult, but dies. Shut down to the Ornn. Immediate Baron reaction for the for Erasmus, and I don't think they can get it. I think that Zeus will be there in time, but the question is, what can they do? Aphilos has the blue gun though, but gets zoned by the Camille, and it looks like he's gonna give it up.
Zeus is there in time, but only to watch the Baron go down.
Yeah, it's also because like the Wukong has no ultimate, so it's really worth risking that. They have no flash. Would have been cool if the Aphilos could have rolled it there, but that's all good.
It's also unfortunate that the shutdown on the Silas, which is like 800 gold, went over to the Ornn instead of the Wukong. And it means that Matthijs is still very far behind the curve, still busy finishing his second item while most of the carriers are working towards their third. Ezreal busy with his fourth already.
Yeah, so Ezreal does kind of fall off in the late game, but I'm talking about the very late game, right? When Aphilos has like 4 or 5 items and Ezreal also has 4 or 5 items. So if Zeus can somehow get to that point, then you know we could see Zeus winning some team fights. But right now that's going to be really difficult, as Soul is on the menu soon. 2 minutes, and with the way the game is set up right now, I'm not really sure if they can contest that.
No, and
Yeah.
I think Zeus will be happy that it's Chem Tank Soul, meaning that generally considered the weakest right now. Will be the least of the worries. I think they're likely gonna give it up in 1.5 minutes. With the Baron, they just won't have the map pressure to contest it. And it will be an Elder win condition for Zeus, if they have any win conditions left in this game.
I believe in Matthijs' smite. I'm sure he can steal the Elder. If he can get into the pit, that is.
See the damage that Nautilus take just by dashing forward once.
Mono team being used, Aphelios are being used, and this might be a small opportunity for Zeus to win. Aphelios dashes forward, kills the Silas, then gets blown up though.
Yes, all the chuck comes around it, but none of the attacks ready, because he just gets CC'd into infinity.
Still gets some gold by killing the Silas, but they're gonna take
At least 2 inhibs, if not their base.
Yeah, I think at this point it's a slippery slope, and yeah, I'm not really sure what Zeus can do to get it back into the game.
I think they're gonna be thinking about what they want to play in game 3.
Yeah, and also the chat is talking about rips for some reason, so I think they're not really watching the game anymore either. So yeah, I mean, what's your favorite rip? Which flavor?
As in, okay. That's a good question. I believe if I
see some spoilers in the chat.
if I untap, I'm pretty sure like to look at the opinions of chat, and I can't. I believe the game like unfocuses and chat can't see the game anymore. So I'll think about my rips after.
No, but I mean, what's your favorite? Favorite?
Types of rips. You mean like spare which flavor is spare?
Yeah.
I like them spicy.
Black and spicy. Okay, I like that. That's good. Yeah, we see Erasmus with a very dominant game here. Again, I think the Ali plane played an amazing game, and overall just a good coordination from the team. The Trash played really well. The Silas played really well. Everyone did their part in the game.
Yeah, I would say only the Camille had some troubles, but dying in a 1v1 and getting caught a few times, but it was just not relevant enough compared to how hard the rest of the game was winning.
That being said, I don't think that Zeus played bad. I do feel like they tried to do some stuff in the early game in the bot lane. I like to see all of that. The only thing I would like to see more is maybe a different pick in the mid lane. I feel like Firendor didn't really, wasn't able to show what he could do on his champion. Didn't really get the opportunity for that. So I hope that he's going to be able to play a more proactive champion and show that he can also play the game.
Yeah,
But he's
and
also part of the team.
I do feel like maybe the booking should have looked to commit a few times earlier. Of course, Rise having a lot of setup, and Silas sometimes having to commit his E to even clear the wave to get some extra passive procs. There should be some opportunities, but yeah, Matthijs, the Wukong didn't really get his foot in this game. We got one kill bot lane after like a minute of baiting from Joris, which
You mean his stuff in the game or his stuff between the door?
I'm not sure I exactly how you would what the English phrase is.
His clone over the wall?
Yes, exactly. Hey, he got his clone over the Herald wall twice, but the second time he got killed for it, so that was unfortunate.
By that time they knew. Okay, so I assume that you're already setting up the what bib flavor. Yeah, are we gonna have a small break while we prepare for the third game? We're gonna watch Zeus again against.
Against
Man, I have
PRLX? Wait, PXL Esports.
so
Oh,
stay tuned.
Was
yes.
he Paxel or something though?
We'll see you after the break.
All goes.
Hello, hello, stream. We are back, and together with us we now have Kevin, Mr. Parobear
Hello,
from
hello.
Zephyr Aether, who can report back on how Game 2 went.
We don't talk about it. It doesn't even that bad actually, but we still don't talk about it. Sometimes you have those type of games, you know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Where did you feel like it went wrong?
Oh, what did I feel like went wrong? I have no clue. I didn't really like pay attention to all my games. I'll be very honest. But you know, it's an O2. We'll take it. Like it's not the end of the world. And much like Zeus, you still have like game 3 where you can prove yourself.
You at least performed better than Mad Lions today, so there's still hope.
Oh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about MSI. Don't break my heart like that. I can't take
Yeah,
5 losses on a day, man.
nah
I mean,
worries.
I did
SKT
yesterday.
made it quick, it was alright.
Painless, merciful. What are you expecting for Zeus this game? 'Cause I know
I
who they're
think
playing
that
actually.
Zeus will be really in need of a win right now. I feel like after the second game was kind of on paper that it's just a difficult game, right? They can
Mm.
win it, but they need a good early game and they just didn't get it. But that first game really should have on paper been a win for them. That's a team that competes with Zephyr Manticore on paper. So
Oh,
you would
that.
expect Zeus, even with Matthijs, to easily be able to handle them. Uh, and now they're playing against quite a decent team, I believe. They have players all between the ranks of Platinum and Grandmaster.
Oh,
Uh,
show me the show me the team, cause I'm looking at your league line right now. That looks quite intimidating. That Grandmaster player.
Open the I'll ask Matthijs again.
What's mean that? Let me check this guy out.
Let me check him out. Hello, guys.
We have
Ah,
the
that's the other
spectate.
person. That's the third one. Oh, out of the second. Oh boy, this guy is nearing challenger. He's 904 FE. 904 down.
Surely Zeus is going to win this one.
Yeah, that's what we thought about Kuzu before he before his team blew up. Man, I'm still memeing that guy even after like half a year. I kind of feel bad about
Do
it
you
because
talk to him
he.
still, or what?
Hmm?
Do you still talk to him, or what?
No, I've never talked to him once in my life.
Oh, okay.
I just
I
meme
mean,
it because Paragon was such
he,
a.
he was also to be meme, man. Like the shit he said in the chat was, it was some good content. Like you can say whatever you want,
It
but
was
the man
real
just
content, yeah.
provided some actual good content, you know. Like he brought the spice to the DCL. So
Yeah, I mean the DCL was very bland with that
exactly.
development.
In fact,
So
I have a scoop. He was a paid actor.
Oh no.
he was a paid. What the fuck?
There was
Surely
not enough
DCL
spice
pays
in the
someone to blow their
DSL,
entire show
so
up.
yeah, exactly. They actually wanted to make DSL a bit more like WWE, you
Oh
Okay,
know,
okay.
no.
much more drama and
And Kuzi was their
um,
test and then it didn't work and the DCL stopped. I like it.
because let's be real, right? Like the level of play in the DSL, I mean, who wants to see that? You know, we want to see
And
the emotions, the drama.
we can see all
Um,
that right now in the Zeus draft right here with that LeBlanc man.
Yeah,
They were afraid to admit it, you know.
I would need like to point our attention towards the draft that has started. Zeus putting the respect on the 900 LP Grandmaster LeBlanc main. Understandably, might see a Syndra ban as well.
Altus
That's the
ban comes out.
Yeah, that's the cartridge from the enemy ADC. Actually, he's been playing it bot quite a bit. That's not a very fun pick if you like to play through bot lane. It's very neutralizing, very hard to kill. And then we see the Syndra getting all the mages out of the game.
That's
And
real
that,
respect right there.
yeah, and I think it's very fair. We see the Wukong and the Nautilus bans, two champions that Zeus played last game, of course. But he's playing Wukong in both games today. Might seem switch over to something like a Jarvan now.
Yeah,
He could
probably.
also delay his first pick a bit. Of course, there's a lot of nice ADCs for Joris on the table. We see some Aphelios combos, some Lucian combos, some Xayah Rakan. A lot of options there.
Oh, yeah, he does go
And
for
there,
the EDC option indeed. Zaya ban. Oh, Zaya pick, sorry.
Yeah, very safe option to pick here.
Oh boy.
Oh, Meteor Jinx.
Oh yeah, Meteor is actually enabled. I forgot about that.
This smells like Meteor Jinx to me.
Yeah, and it would actually be very, very good against Zaya.
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
This
think
is
we're
what
gonna
we
see
call the
Rakan here.
Klinger bot lane.
yeah, it's really annoying. Xayah, of course, super good against champs that play into her, but Jinx Milio just never get in your range. Jinx Milio can get perma push against Xayah, so they'll need. I think if you just pick Rakan next to this, you're gonna need a lot of dive. Jarvan does look really appetizing against Jinx Milio, of course, so there we go. Jarvan
Hmm.
being locked in.
But I wonder what support they will lock in here, because you have the option of the Blitzcrank or the Rakanya.
Yeah,
Both
I
are
do feel
fire.
like the Rakan is just a very safe value pick, even though it's not gonna feel amazing against Emilio, who can just simply disengage. Um, I mean, there is a reason why this duo is picked a lot in the bot lane. It's just a solid combo.
I would have preferred the Blitzcrank. I think that gives a lot more play potential against our bot lane. Actually allows
Hmm.
Joos to potentially snowball, and it's just something you're not gonna achieve with Xayah Rakan. And then we see an Evelyn pick coming in.
What in the hell?
Very interesting because
Yeah.
that's not good against Xayah. Like that
Very
actually kind of plays
unconventional.
I
in the
also would say
hands.
that this is a mistake, right? As in, is this actually an Evelyn pick?
Yeah, they overbid.
Well, it's the champion you pick when you think you're just that much better than the enemy team. That's what
It's
this
so
champion
you
indicates to
have
me.
Jinx Melio in the bot lane against, and
Yeah.
you're playing against Jarvan, Zaya, Rakan. Basically, you're saying I don't give a flying f about what the enemy team
I
does.
I think they just
I
missed a
just want to
ban.
play
They just
Evelyn.
missed a ban, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Evelyn pick is not supposed to be there. It's so weird.
I'm just
Uh,
waiting, but there's no comments
there
in
seems
the
to be
lobby
no
right
The
now.
push.
ultimate disrespect slams down the Eve, third red side, and then they do no ban.
Doesn't ban, refuses to
There's a
elaborate,
Victor.
leaves.
I don't need no counters or anything. Oh wait, they're doing the
Okay, they
ban now.
actually do ban something.
I'm actually confused.
No, okay, I mean,
Are
that
they?
one ban is just
Maybe they're
disrespectful.
like communicating in DMs.
That's always
Maybe.
possible.
I'm not seeing anything in
Uh,
the Discord
can
capping
you
that,
maybe
so.
ask if these are the actual picks? 'Cause I don't think they're gonna drop a ban just for fun.
I just asked them, Matthijs, we'll see. I'm pretty sure this is an actual Eve. The jungler of PXL side does play a lot of Eve, apparently. Um,
I'm just
they actually just
blind.
missed the ban. It's just not a ban.
Okay,
Doesn't ban,
interesting.
refuses to elaborate, leave the
No,
game.
no communication.
So we see the Malphite getting banned, and immediately a Silas hover. Does mean that they're gonna have an AP jungler and an AP mid laner. I hope the Silas from last game didn't terrorize Zeus enough,
Oh,
and we see a
No way.
Riven. Okay,
what was it, a
they
cast?
just went full solo queue. I don't know what to say about
this
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 ref
is
team, but
just like zero respect indeed. There's just no
It's
reason.
zero
If you get
respect.
Jinx Milio, feels very strong, and like at this point I would
the
say,
draft's so good. What
yeah,
happened?
how to easily throw your draft in just 2 steps.
Okay,
I mean, I'm seeing like something like
stop
an
the rest
older
of the
pick.
draft. Stop the rest of the draft. What's gonna be their fifth meme pick? The rest doesn't matter
Oh no,
anymore.
I don't even think that's that good actually. Revenant Fled. Oh, it
I
seems to
mean,
be
Kled
decent
has
actually.
some invincible frames,
Yeah, it seems to be good.
which can help against when you're playing against Riven, but I think the issue is just that I don't think Riven can all in Kled.
Yeah, and Kled has like there's some niche interaction between Kled and Riven that are nice. You can eat through her, so it's hard for her to hit her third Q. You can also pull her out of her third Q with your own Q. It's quite annoying. I do think Lissandra has quite a low magic damage option here. Of course, it's a defensive pick, and the enemy doesn't have any tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I feel like there
Uh,
is an opportunity here for PXL to save the draft if they're actually willing to play a tank mid lane. Like
nope,
Cassante, which they
not
banned
gonna happen.
themselves, would be an option to resolve it. I don't think Orianna is the glue that's needed for this team. I think this is a
Well, I
very weird
mean,
draft.
you guys said that mid laner was good, right? So, I mean, if he picks Orianna, I expect him to pressure the Lissandra a lot in the early game. That's going to result in anything? I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a banger for sure. Let's just say
It's
that.
gonna be a bloody game, and it's going to be bloody from the point on from Eve 6. If Jovan doesn't get enough done before Evelyn hits 6, then there's gonna be some major trouble for Zeus.
So, are both junglers just going to path to the top side? Or is Jarvan going. Look, Jarvan, I feel like, has the options here. Has the setup from Lissandra after level 6. Has things in the bot lane. Um, and the top lane is also going to be explosive. So I'm mostly interested in what is Jarvan going to do in the early game. What do you think?
Probably force as many flashes as possible. I imagine they'll see a few mid ganks with the Lissandra setup, but it's hard to say for the rest. Like, you can't really gank Jinx Meteor because of the range gap, and it's so safe. Meteor Q disengage is really hard to play against. You can probably kill Riven a few times if you have a good wave state in top lane, but can't imagine what else you can look for.
Yeah, I think it's really up to Zeus to prevent the Evelyn or Riven from getting fed, and if they do, then they should have just an incredibly much easier team to play starting from the mid game. The only dangerous part could be, of course, if that Evelyn does pick up a kill when she gets level 6, gets a bit strong, maybe they can take over the dragon pressure. You can expect Jinx Milio to always have pressure in the bot lane. Orianna probably also has pressure over Lissandra. So it might be hard to contest dragons if they get behind for a bit. But if Zeus managed to get one or two dragons early, I feel like on paper this game should be very favorable to him. But we've said that twice today, and both times the team with the on paper lesser draft won. So
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes, right? Like, it's not. I think player skill here is key because you have not even like two lanes. Like, all lanes here are very much dependent on how the players play it. It's not just a snooze fest or anything like that. Like, you can really do a lot, especially the top lane. Like, the top lane will be skill checks every 10, 20, 30 seconds. It's going to be very good to see. Very fun.
Yeah, so I do think that especially in the early game that the Orianna is going to have prio as well. Um, so I wonder how they're going to use that.
It's probably just to make sure that Jovan doesn't willy-nilly walk into Evelyn's jungle. I imagine that's the case. Mhm.
well,
Yeah,
we'll see it all unfold in 1 minute.
other than that, I do think that Zaya Rakan will have a bit more pressure in the early game.
Thank God, I hope so. I'm going to get something to drink real quick.
It's difficult. I would say Xayah can definitely match the wave clear from Jinx, but with the extra added Milio burn and range, it's just so difficult to trade. So generally you'll have to walk back, and if you walk back with Xayah, you can't really do any damage back. So you'll have to just concede the wave over and over.
Well, it depends. I think that Rakan should just look for potential trades and threaten potential trades, maybe by controlling the bushes, such that that way they can get priority over the wave. Um, Even though Melio can stop the Rakan from engaging, it is still difficult to do and to pull it off consistently. So I do think that Rakan is still can still have some pressure early.
Yep.
3 seconds, guys. Let's hop into the game. See what's gonna end up.
Right. Can we get some hype in the chat
Hell
for our
yes.
third and final game of the evening?
Both Kevin and Emre will both be watching chat right now, so I'm sure they'll be able to relay any questions to me if
Joey is
necessary.
being very unenthusiastic about all of it. You know, he's just a hater. It is what it is.
I mean, the only reason why we are here is for the people in the chat. Let that be known.
Ooh. See, Rob knows how to show appreciation, Yori. Learn about that. Like, come on.
Everyone loves Rob.
Yeah, everyone loves him. No, who doesn't love Rob?
I mean, he's friendly, so I mean, yeah.
Like,
Generally, yes. I've seen some rumors about an unfriendly version existing, but I don't think
Well,
those rumors have
alternate
ever been
universe.
proven.
Alternate
I think
universe.
you're lying. Oh, Robin, can you zoom out a bit?
Yes.
In the alternate universe, unfriendly Rob is the super toxic version of Rob. 15 permaban accounts. And still going strong.
Wait, are you talking about Rowan? Or Rob?
Unfriendly Rob in an alternative universe.
Okay.
The multiverse of Robs. Yeah, okay, it's a very uninteresting game plan so far.
Well, yeah, both junglers pepping top side, but yeah, I mean, I'm actually not sure. Eve can gank in the early game. But I suppose she is more likely to just, to farm, and we see Orianna starting to pressure right away. Small cheese from the Kled. It also
Really
means that the
amounting
Riven
a much.
stack. Yeah, but maybe it made Riven reset at 2 stacks, so between a small division of 1. Okay, as expected, the two players to start trading really hard. I mean, yeah, you really need to know what you're doing on Kled to be able to willing to do this at level 1.
Yeah.
But
From outside perspective, it's difficult to see if it's a good idea or a bad idea. It really depends on how your champion trades after dismounting compared to the Riven. But you seem to be doing pretty well, and if you're already at half your... I'm not sure what type of stacks he actually collects. Well, we can check.
I have Fury?
I think it's
Fury?
was it not like
Oh,
Courage, I think it's
Erasmus,
Courage.
it was called, that makes sense.
Yeah. So with this amount of courage, he's completely fine again. He'll remount, and he just got a bit of free damage on the Riven in the end.
I do think it's crazy that Riven gets out traded at level 1. That says something about the Kled, I suppose.
It's that champion, you know, it's cheese champ. You gotta be a psycho to play it now.
And a psycho he is! And they get the first blood. Ooh, flashes into the Eve though. Oh, so yeah, despite the fact that the Kled gets a kill, I mean the Eve is like nom 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 nom.
Yeah, but that's great. Look at the wave that Riven is missing. It forces a DP back. Yeah, I think he's missed like 5 waves or something. That's pretty
Well,
good.
Evelyn was there though, so she got some EXP, and I think for Eve it's really good. Eve is really happy, I think.
Yeah, she also got the scuttle from this. I think this is potentially the reason she decided to start bot side, to be there in case of a counter gank, and even though she was late, she got rewarded.
Yeah, and Jarvan doesn't have a work now.
Yeah, it's quite surprising how fast Eve clears for a jungler that's supposedly weak in early game, you know?
Have you never seen Eve's Q? It's like a machine gun.
I never see Eve.
AoE machine gun, like.
Oh, Midget's doing something with his race.
Riven having
sure
a
it was
level
a good-
advantage though.
I guess he's baiting for the
Jarvan. And the Jarvan is here, back again! And Riven Dino in the chat is like, oh, where's my jungler?
This is the
Yeah.
bot where you type in all chat jungle diff and you will go AFK at the top lane.
Riven is And as I mentioned before, Zaya Rakan simply is just stronger in the early game, and they use that to their advantage. Great to see. Yeah, the Zeus bot lane here putting some pressure.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's
can.
nice.
Evelyn
The Evelyn will come say hi. Evelyn still has her flash up, so this might be a dead recap.
And the
Ooh,
double
fine,
rush.
yeah, that's fine.
Oh, she misses her charm though.
Oh, uses the dash and the extra range to get away.
Might be fine. Oh, he almost killed!
And the Rakan Q heals the Zaya. I mean, that was so close. Not sure how much HP, but
The Rakan flashed
Really
on
good.
top of the Jing on the Xayah with the Jinx rocket on him, so that was a bit scary, but it worked out.
I mean, perfect execution by the Rakan and the Zaya. Great to see.
Yeah, very important for Zeus that the play on top side works and the play on bot side doesn't.
I mean, you see how strong this Glad is, especially with this lead. Very difficult for Riven to trade back against this.
Could you check Kled gold for 1 second? Like,
Sure.
real quick?
Yes, 1000 gold up.
Wolf.
But he hasn't spent it yet, so if he dies here, there's not a lot of he can use it. He might be able to get away over the over the wall. I think he's out. Oh, no, he's not.
Evelyn flashes after,
He
but
is.
she is out regardless.
Flash for flash trade, and that was almost disaster for Kled.
I think the Evelyn waited just a little bit too long for the round.
This is kind of greedy, but if Kled gets 1 kill, if he does remount. Oh, and he goes for it. And he gets punished. The Ignite doesn't kill!
Oh, the Riven with 1 HP.
Oh, and he loses all the... Oh, that's so greedy.
Also, Zaya died. Not sure how.
I can rewind if you guys want.
Sure. Meanwhile, the Drake going over to Zeus. Let's see what happens. And Kevin, you may claim yours if you want. Here you go. Yeah, so basically what we see here is one of those things where the team is a little bit split. You know, this is also what I hate. Usually when I try to push out the bot lane before moving to the objective, and then the jungler is like, why are you not here? And vice versa. It's like, yeah, I still need to push out my wave.
Yep.
So, yeah, annoying, but I'm sure about it.
Okay, and now I'm back for the mid lane trade, watching an Orianna almost solo kill on Lissandra, while my little brother apparently burns something in the garage. Nice.
Can you switch the Orianna and the Eve?
Yes, yeah, please do that.
Of course.
It's bugging me as well.
Yeah, we see this Orianna as we mentioned, just pressuring the Lissandra, but it's okay. I mean, Lissandra a little bit behind in CS, but other than that, not much happening. And now that she is level 6, we might see some more action from Lissandra with that perfect setup for the Jarvan.
And while we have some downtime, can someone please explain to me what happened? Because I heard you can flame Jaffa now.
Yeah, I mean, yours died in the bot lane. We were doing a recap, watching what happened, but then you weren't there, so I had to.
It was unlucky. I would love to flame my former teammate.
So there were 3 things happening at once, Kevin. The first of all, I would say the biggest mistake is Killian, or the Kled got ganked on top lane by the Evelyn. He got away, then greeted under his wave, tried to kill Riven and died for it and lost like 2 more waves. In the meantime, on bot lane, the Jarvan looked for the dragon because the Evelyn was stopped. But the Xayah didn't move with him because she wanted to push them out to bot lane. And she got punished by the Milio and the Jinx and just ran down with
Evelyn
Ghost.
is a lot of trouble here. Yeah,
Still level 5.
Killed this for quite a while.
That's the nice shutdown over towards the Rakan. I'm sure Matthijs will like that.
Sure, Lucas will use it well. Yeah, but this Orianna is
Not scared. I mean, the Sandra is down, and there's not really that much that Zeus can do against this, and just keep pressuring her. And it's like, well, okay, you can go back to base.
Yeah, and Jarvan's just chilling, looking at the Orianna, thinking, oh, surely my bot is fine. Meanwhile, this is happening. Zeus is level 6. Joris is not having the greatest of times.
We're seeing the bot lane of Everett team playing a little bit more confident.
Ooh,
Definitely something that they can do.
The bot lane has been kind of going as expected so far. Ooh, he should just be fine with the ult. Barely making it out here.
Very nice ultimate. And yeah, almost on home.
mid dipping is worth it, right?
No,
And
we kind of
then
expected
take it
Milio
over.
Jinx to have the pressure in the bot lane, and as Emre predicted, he thought that Rakan's and Xayah together could do
Dive
something
is
against it,
actually
but in the meantime we see a dive on the top lane, and that's just a
but
big amount of
potentially
shutdown.
to get one.
And the jungler is just going back and forth in this top lane. I mean, as we predicted, right? A lot of stuff going down here. I mean, both champions just have to constantly fight with each other. Founder going back in, and that might be not the best move to make.
I think
Yeah,
he kind of... Oh, and the ult misses! The ult misses!
Very close.
But
Luke
Founder
holding
will
his
actually
flash,
get
so he
ultimate
was
up in a
very...
few seconds. Maybe he'll look for something here.
Yeah.
He should be able to look for something here. But Evelyn is actually there.
I feel like Luke baited himself in through the corrupting pot stack from the Orianna. She was almost out of mana. And then, poof. She was ready to fight again.
Oh, he is looking for something. Oh, nice flash. Doesn't really end up in anything good, but
Nice play.
Another shutdown going to the Jarvan. And how the Jarvan is shut down.
And the jungler gets a kill again.
yeah, okay, so this is one of the things we don't talk about on the broadcast. This is just, why are you going for more? That's my question.
And Matthijs decides he wants to fight some more.
Now this is gonna be really scary. I feel like the Evelyn is gonna come back with a big item. Also, Lich Bane got buffed, but I'm not really sure if that's a thing now in Evelyn or not.
I'm pretty sure it is a thing, but maybe not first item.
If you're asking what Dave is doing, that's a good question. I'm asking what that's why he's not asked you.
So I remember something in the pre-broadcast we were talking about. Well, this should be in the bag for Zeus as long as the Evelyn doesn't get too strong.
Well, yeah, this is why we pick Evelyn, huh? Oh,
Yeah,
but
ultimate.
that is actually going something on the
Dive in the bot lane.
and the dive ends up in a failure, but this is more interesting. Oh, massive shockwave!
They're able to disengage.
Great.
And somehow no one died. So that
Emilio didn't
so
even
nice.
use flash against the bot dive, so
Didn't even do
it
it.
was a very uneventful
things now walking up.
but good disengage by the Rakan.
Okay, let me look at these Evelyn items. That's a rocket belt in the bag. At 11 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, at this stage, I mean, she's gonna one-shot anyone. Might not even need ult anymore. Which is very scary.
Yeah, and the worst part is she's walking towards the bot lane. The dragon is on Keon is gonna get murdered by this ribbon.
Oh! Also burn supply stats painful, but the jungler is here again. Matthijs starting to
I'm
save
not
the
sure
day.
if he wins this though.
Misses the
Oh, never mind.
blows him up.
He was tired.
Oh,
this is
this
the
is
this is the
hello.
special. Nice, Sayo.
Trades ults, so that's fine.
I also want to point out that the Kled already opted in for a Hex Drinker. You do feel like with how close it was to him regaining his Scarl on that last fight, if that Hex Drinker is not a Hex Drinker but instead a Caulfields or a Kindle Gem, he might just be able to win that fight.
I also feel like going Hexdrake at this stage is way too early, but already Evelyn is snooping.
It was a nice overkill from, well not overkill, like a nice 2v2 in the bot lane. Even after the gank. Found getting so out of his mind here.
Yeah, and meanwhile almost a 50 CS lead for the Orianna.
Yeah, it is what it
Pretty
is.
painful to see.
Oh!
On rocket!
Oh,
Nice.
but the heal comes in clutch.
The heal from the spellbook.
Okay, but they are looking for something on the Orianna here. She feels it, she sees it. All the visions are good.
Yeah, Rakan doing his best to, you know, have the vision control in the bot side river, which is I think a pretty big accomplishment with, yeah, so much pressure from the Orianna, and I think that it would be nice if the Orianna starts threatening that vision around the Raptors at this stage.
Good flash. Of course didn't have the ult yet, so
Gets charmed anyway. Okay, the engagement is
Jarvan
on.
has it.
Going in on the Evelyn. Evelyn now very low.
oh, and the Evelyn with only a few seconds on her ult left there.
Another EQ combo, meteor dies for
Too
it.
greedy.
It's a good punishment by the cast Aftershock. And a good flash by Yavalol to make it possible.
I mean, had the Evelyn just been a bit more patient for the ultimate, then that could have been a very different situation.
Definitely. Oh, and there's potential play here. Klett ult for TP.
Yeah, those goes that wide.
I think you're happy with that, Zeus. Because Orianna is definitely gonna be an issue though.
Yeah, and I also feel like the Klett is not really in the top lane anymore.
Oh no, shocking. Look
Wow,
at Ice
beautiful
Wave.
shot
Oh no, other
wave.
side, but one of the ult, he still dies actually.
Ribbon
Oh yeah,
flash
okay, after the flash he's still
that's
dies.
a kill. And now we see the solo carries of the red side team just slowly taking over as well.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the gold, Klett and Riven are basically equal again after that play. So the
Yeah.
lead that was in the pocket of Zeus starting to disappear, and the only real lead left is for Matthijs on the Jarvan. Somehow he is 600 gold ahead of the Evelyn.
Speaking of Matthijs, for the EQ there, dies for oh no, actually Lucas got him safe again, dude. What the hell?
Lucas with the quick moves, the swiftness, goes in, bam bam bam, dashes everywhere. And make sure that his team stays alive and grabs a double kill.
So
and
will
it
they
was-
be able to spot out the Evelyn here? Ah, nice pink ward to make this way more safe. Now they're able to play for this turret probably.
Lucas thinks he's safe here, but they're not safe. The Evelyn was here all along. The pink ward doesn't really matter. It doesn't prevent the Evelyn from dealing damage.
Oh, and there's the interrupt on the... Oh, and the Evelyn misses.
Oh, the Evelyn ult misses, but the rocket does not. Bomba! And yeah, kills all over the place. So it's a fun game.
Yeah, and you gotta give credits honestly to the Orianna. Setting up a lot of plays with her ults, a lot of mid lane pressure, without even getting any kills. They already got the mid lane turret down, and oh, she's just such a point of pressure. The Lissandra not getting anything right now, and Farandor 2 games in a row getting well the worst end of the mid lane matchup.
Yeah, but let's give the Orianna a little bit of credit as well. Yeah, he's playing out of his mind. Make sure to constantly pressure the mid laner with the Orianna ball. And yeah, it's difficult to play against that, especially without any sort of pressure from the Jarvan on the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. The Orianna is playing extremely well. Super aggressive. So, luckily for Zeus, the Xayah did just get 2 kills in that fight. So even though the Jinx also got 2 kills, it's still kind of equal.
Oh, and we see the Evelyn sneaking towards the bot lane. Waiting to intercept the side laner.
I think this
I
one
think
will,
Farandor is on the menu here.
he has exhaust, he has ulti, he should be fine.
Jarvan is in a
Flash
position
available
to take the herald though, for, in case this play does happen.
Ooh, nice kill predict coming out of those fields. Not even a lot of damage even matter. Kills to exhaust.
Yeah, and that one hurt. That was even through the exhaust.
They do get a herald back, but this tower is going to take a lot of damage.
Well, Evelyn's popping up again in mid lane.
With her ult still
Nice
up, mind you. She didn't use it in the bot lane.
Can't really walk up with the control what, but it's the pressure that matters, right?
I mean, the only reason why Yavalol is not dead is because it's a Xayah. Had it been any other ADC, I think the Evelyn would have already jumped in and just smacked 2 or 3 times and the AC would be dead, I think.
Yeah, which is, I think, what makes the Evelyn pick even more interesting, because she picked it fully well knowing that she had to play against Xayah Rakan.
Yeah.
So,
And regardless, she's smurfing it, so yeah, it was in fact evil.
And you see the Evelyn using those AP ratios, going to go for an early death cap.
Yeah, very scary.
Honestly.
I wonder if we're
Death
gonna see
for a
this
head, you
screen.
might as well, right?
Third item. Looks like the game has slowed down a little bit. We saw a lot of action. Yeah, we haven't really talked a lot about macro this or anything. Just a lot of fighting and skirmishing going on, but the game has slowed down. Both teams have a Drake. Another Drake is spawning, and it's maybe at this point that we're gonna see a little bit of more macro basically. Maybe more team fighting as well. Who do you think is gonna win the team fight?
Well, I would definitely still say that if we get a front-to-back fight, it's relatively easy for Zephyr Zeus. Because
Oh, Evelyn actually dies to the red buff.
I want to say, because it's really difficult for Evelyn to actually find the target if the Zeus team is grouped up. It's also really difficult for Riven to actually do anything against Lissandra Rakan. So then you're kind of reliant on either Evelyn or Riven being away to get the Orianna ult on the enemy backline.
Oh, Lucas is actually for flanking and going for it.
Pops the
Double
ult,
flash.
Instantly.
A
That's
lot of
great.
respect. Mid tower down, and I think they're going to pursue this into a Drake. And yeah, Matthijs is saving the game.
I would say
I
that
think that was
Matthijs
more
could
of a
have
Lucas
flash
thing, wasn't
ulted forward and just ulted both of them. Probably
No,
killed
but
them.
Lucas rolling two flashes is huge.
I
Yeah,
think it's okay. They get what they want.
Nice
Think
way
of
to
hitting the
finish shots.
target, but yeah, doesn't do enough. I see Zeus grouping, and both teams are actually grouping. Grouping for the scuttle. See red team getting some vision control over the Baron.
But you gotta feel this is not something that like this Baron is not something that the team of PLX can actually threaten, because they just have nobody to tank it. Like Riven can kinda do it, Evelyn can kinda do it, but it's
Yeah,
not
at the
right.
same time, I don't think that Zeus will ever do it either. Evelyn can easily steal the Baron. And I think Matthijs knows that for sure, as an Evelyn player himself.
Yep.
Can I see the gold? I'm wondering how much gold Evelyn still needs before he gets the Steph cap.
She's at
Almost there.
900 right now, so 200 more, so one more camp after this.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna play a little bit passive until she gets the Death cap.
Yeah.
And then she's probably gonna try and see if she can find some picks.
Jinx just finishing up her IE is also great. Xayah just finished their... Oh, is it called? The Navari quick blades. We see a nice Orianna ult again.
Oh, that is actually going with Rihanna here. That is actually getting a lot less.
Oh.
That actually turned away from the website really quickly.
Oh, a very nice ult, hitting both the Jinx and the Orianna.
Combo!
Both flashless, that's huge.
Meanwhile, Flat charging into backline on there.
Very nice play by Matthijs, and yeah, that was greedy to still
They are
contest.
moving towards the Baron, but I do think that they have to zone Evelyn. Because, as I said, Evelyn is very good at stealing Baron. And with the Death cap, she's definitely gonna try it.
Without her flash, it's difficult for her to get into the pit at least. So as long as they can keep track of where she is.
Yeah, I feel like maybe she should have went all the way around.
And that's the ult. So now it should be free.
Yeah, very nicely played by Zeus, making sure that the Evelyn cannot sneak in. They go home with the Baron now, and I think all they have to do right now is just group. I feel like against their team they can split.
Let's talk about a bit where Zeus is actually strong, right? Because we see the 7-2 Jarl, we see the 5-2 Zaya, but if you look at the rest of the players, like, they're actually quite weak comparatively. If you
Yeah,
look at the mid lane, like, Lissandra's still one entire item behind on this Orianna.
The Lissandra is extremely weak, but of course it's a utility champion, it's set up. If you can just CC the Orianna or the Riven, or even Evelyn if you manage to do so, you do your job as Lissandra at this point in the game.
Yeah, of course, but having a 7-2 job and a bit less useful than, for example, a 7-2 check, right? Like it's,
Hey, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. But this the Xayah is also extremely fat, almost at 11k gold herself. Closing in on the Bloodthirster now. I feel like Zeus is in a great position.
Yeah, the siege is
And there's that Baron up cannon minion shooting down the Riven instead of the turret.
Well, I think their main advantage is simply that they're strong together.
Very nice play.
Also, the Evelyn is dying here.
Jinx spam pinging.
And that's just the end of the game.
He's definitely not mad. Definitely not mad with that spam
And
ping.
no worries for PLX, objective bounties are available soon, so they'll surely be able to find a way back in the game after they respawn.
That was a massive engage on the face.
Yeah, Matthijs is finding some great ults. Props to him, bouncing back after two subpar Wukong performances. And
Yeah,
go ahead.
just a good game, and you know, or Mr. Poorbear was saying, okay, like who actually is strong from Zeus, but I feel like at that point in the game, their comp was just better if they're just grouped. If they're grouped, they have so much CC counter engage that it's really difficult for Evelyn, Riven, yeah, to get in there and do something. I feel like PLX lacked the tools to really get a good fight going, and yeah, it showed.
I really do feel that PLX just made some huge missteps in draft. Imagine that Evelyn and the Riven are instead teamfight tools like a tank top laner and an engaged jungler. Then this Orianna could have absolutely taken over the game because the bot lane was doing fine for themselves. They were surviving, they were scaling. And the Orianna was just pressuring the Lissandra so hard. But well played to Zeus, punishing the greedy draft by PLX and allowing JV, LOL and Cast Off Destruct to shine.
Well, at least Zephyr doesn't go lossless.
Yes,
Win this.
Zephyr making sure that, well, Zeus making sure that Zephyr is still standing.
Yeah, we are now 1-4, 1-5 total. Let's go.
No, because you guys played
Yeah,
2 games, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
then
1-4. Sorry, my bad.
yeah,
We
So
also
Zephyr
have
is on the board, is what you say?
Yeah, we're on the board, guys. Can you believe?
but there are more opportunities to be played this Friday. We're gonna have some other casters. I think Wessel and Adil are casting, and I also think that you're casting.
Yeah, probably depends on if I have time, right? Because I'm playing. I'm not
Oh,
playing.
you're
Actually.
also
I'm not playing
playing.
at
Or are
all.
you not playing?
No, I'm not casting. I'm not available that day.
Yeah.
But we'll
Okay,
see.
then we have Adil and Wessel.
Pretty sure those will
Probably.
be. I had a lot of fun
Zephyr's going to
today.
get spoiled.
Kevin, thank you for joining us for the last game, and especially thanks Emre for joining me for all 3 of the games, of course. It's a lot
Thank
of
you
fun.
for not leaving me alone today.
Of course.
That would have been something.
And, we wish the best of luck, of course, to Zephyr, to the Zephyr teams, and well, the teams we saw play today on the Friday. And looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Have a nice day.
See ya.